big whoop. No, they did. It wasn't easy to get there. Both of these teams had to either come back from behind or stave off a ferocious comeback. All three games, like you mentioned, were really entertaining. Felician against Wilmington down to the wire. Goldey-Beacom, a walk-off home run to come back against Jefferson as well. And so both of these teams have been battle-tested already. These are the two top teams in the conference that have been most of the season, and this is going to be a real important game. Winner moves on to tomorrow, no questions asked. The loser has to then face a red-hot Felician team to keep their season alive.
And we're going to keep this pregame show relatively quick because, believe it or not, we're almost ready for first pitch here in Waterbury. But a couple last points we want to get to. One of them, we got the number 1 versus the number 2 team pitching teams in the conference. We also have the number 1 versus number 2 teams in terms of runs scored in the conference. So it feels like something's got to give here. Is there any type of key to this game coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen really good pitching for the first part of the game, and then the offense comes through late. It's whoever gets a run or two through the first 3 innings, I think, is going to be the big key. Get a run or a couple early, and I think that's going to be your key.
All right, well, the teams are out on the field getting ready for the national anthem, so we're going to take a quick break. But don't go anywhere because first pitch is coming up next on the CACC Network. Welcome back into Waterbury, Connecticut, as we're only a couple of minutes away from our first pitch between the Wilmington University Wildcats and the Goldey-Beacom College Lightning in the semifinals of the CACC Conference Tournament. Should be a blast today. So with that, let's give you the lineup first for the 2-seeded Lightning as the visiting team today. Leading them off, it's the walk-off hero from last night, Caden Barmer in right field. Bobby Stewart's their second baseman. Jamie Naris Jr. is the designated hitter. He's batting third. Roman Keith in the cleanup spot out in left field. Zach Smethers following him at first base. Brent Williams will bat sixth at third. Batting seventh, it's Sean Roy. Came up clutch with a pinch hit single to tie the game in the ninth yesterday. He's at shortstop. Joey Current follows him behind the plate. And Trey Mason rounds out the lineup for Goldey-Beacom in this one.
And defensively, they're hitting against a team that has a .948 fielding percentage. Not too great, but didn't hurt them here in game number one for them. It is in your outfield left to right. Brian Klump in left, Cam Trago, and then Zach Frame rounded out. Around the horns, Garrett Quinn, Justin Hernandez, Tyler Pearing, the number one player in the conference according to the coaches, as he won player of the year. And Chase Fleming, the man who went 6 2/3 with 8 strikeouts yesterday, now plays at first base. By the way, he's a pretty good hitter as well. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then Brent Walmsley and your starting pitcher Xavier Cortez make up the battery.
And there is Xavier Cortez towing the rubber for the first time this weekend. Cortez, the 5'8", 185-pound junior out of Vineland, New Jersey, tied for 8th in the conference with 10 starts this year and a 4.63 ERA. Boy, a big hack on the first pitch of the game from Caden Barmer. And we are officially underway here in Waterbury. Thanks so much for joining us. Cody Shalafu, Max Stapleton here to take you through today's semifinal action. Winner of this one has a date in the championship tomorrow afternoon. quickly. It's an 0-2 count on Caden Barmer to lead this game off.
Wilmington defending champs from last year, so they want to make it 2 in a row.
Barmer fights it off. Leadoff man for the Lightning comes into this one as a .330 hitter, a .907 OPS, 25 RBIs this year, also 18 walks to 22 strikeouts.
The hero of last night in the walk-off home run in the 9th inning. We had a lot of late-inning heroics. Everything was wrapped up through 9 innings. We didn't have to go any extra, but there were some games that were looking like they were heading that way, and in all the games, they just had some real fun fireworks late.
Swings and a miss for the first out of this one. Nice start for Xavier Cortez's outing. Cortez, of course, made second-team all-conference, one of 8 team members awarded to an all-conference team this year for Wilmington. He gets his semifinal started the right way, and it brings up Bobby Stewart coming up next for Goldey-Beacom.
Yeah, had the second shortest outing in the shortest start of his season last on May the 1st against Bridgeport. That was that 17-8 game we talked about yesterday where Wilmington was down 8-0 in the number 8 seed Bridgeport. And because, Cortez didn't have his stuff here, a couple runs, but only a couple of them earned. So 6 runs total, 2 of them being earned. Didn't really have the strikeout stuff. But he's looking to bounce back, and already first batter is a strikeout.
Stewart enters the game today at a .286 batting average. Scored the 9th most runs in the entire conference this year with 47. So can certainly turn singles into doubles, as you've talked about a couple of times throughout this tournament, Cody. He's got the most stolen bases in the conference with 39 of them.
Yeah, and he's a 39 for 39. He hasn't got caught either. And all these teams in the tournament have over 100 stolen bases, and they like to run. We saw some running yesterday, and we're expecting the athleticism to keep going.
High chopper back up the middle. Great play by Perrung. The throw to first, nicely scooped out by Chase Fleming. That's a really good-looking 4-3 putout for the second out of the inning. That's going to be a pretty big key for Wilmington today. You already mentioned it once, but not the greatest fielding percentage in the world. Actually 11th in the conference coming into this tournament. And it didn't hurt them yesterday. They're going to need to play clean defense. They want to defend their championship.
And they do everything else so well. Like you said, one of the top pitching teams in the conference, one of the top offensive, if not the top in both of those categories. It's just that fielding percentage, it just seems like that looms large here in settings like this.
Pretty much the only knock you can have on Wilmington throughout the year. It's the only thing that stands out in their stat sheets. Otherwise, number 1 or number 2 in the conference in pretty much every other meaningful category. This is Jamie Neris Jr. at the plate. Now works it even to a 1-1 count. Great season for Neris. This is his 38th start of the year. .331 batting average and the 10th best OPS at .1087. That's only 10th best in the conference. Big wave and a miss. Looked like a breaking ball there. Might have left it up, did Xavier Cortez, but he got away with it.
We talked about how quick the bat is yesterday, how gained inside pitches. Look at the outfield. Look at the fielding. I think
no kidding.
Perrung just went over, but he was pretty much at shortstop. Everybody else on the left side. You have 2 guys on the whole right side basically for him.
Massive shift going up against Jamie Neris. I mean, the center fielder, Cam Trago, is basically playing left field, and the left fielder, Brian Klump, is basically guarding the left field line. There's a huge hole from center field to right field. And one at bat here from Neris Jr., falling behind 1-2, working it back full. Certainly a dangerous hitter this year. 9 doubles, 9 home runs, and a 3-bagger to go along with it. Gets a big wave and a miss, and that's strike number 3, out number 3, and a 1-2-3 inning for Xavier Cortez here in the first. Great start for Wilmington. We're still scoreless, and they're coming up to bat. Back in at Municipal Stadium for the bottom of the first, and let's bring you the lineup for the home squad, the number 1 seeded Wilmington Wildcats in this one. It's D'Angelo Ponce leading them off, the DH. Meanwhile, the CACC Player of the Year will follow him, Tyler Perrung at second base. Brian Klump bats third in left field. Chase Fleming, who was great on the mound yesterday, now batting fourth and at first base. Brett Walmsley, the batting average leader in the conference, he's behind the plate batting fifth. Cam Trago follows him in center. Zach Freeman right batting seventh. Batting eighth, it's Justin Hernandez, the shortstop, and rounding out the lineup today for Wilmington, it'll be the third baseman, Garrett Quinn.
Defensively for the Lightning, it's Roman Keith in left field, Trey Mason in center field, and Caden Barmer, again, the home run hero in right. Williams at third. Sean Roy came off on a pinch hit opportunity and made the most of it. Gets the start today at short. Bobby Stewart and Smethers round out your infield with Joey Current doing the catching for Corey Williams, who's pretty good.
Might be the understatement of the century right there. Williams having a fantastic year for Goldey-Beacom. Awarded him first-team all-conference honors this season. He's gotten tied for the most starts in the conference with 12 of them this year, and he's worked a 3.18 ERA. He's coming off a great start, Cody.
Yeah, and we do know he did not win Pitcher of the Year. It was Borgman, but he was probably number 2 for it. Last time out showed why. 8 innings, 9 strikeouts against Holy Family in their round 1 win. And he's gone 8 innings 3 separate times. We've seen every coach day pushing their starters to the max.
Yeah, it's certainly been a theme. I mean, we've seen, I believe, all 4 starting pitchers gone over 100 pitches, if I'm not mistaken. So we know that they want length out of their starters. Corey Williams was able to give that to them against Holy Family a week ago. See if he can do it here against Wilmington. Second pitch in to D'Angelo Ponce, also misses up and in.
And only one starter did not go 100. It was actually Chase Fleming, who went 98 pitches. So they were all knocking on the door. Yeah, they got there.
Ponce, a 361 hitter and a 918 OPS. Takes strike number 1 on the outside corner. He's ripped 8 doubles this year for 16 RBIs. Righty-on-righty matchup to kick off Williams' day, the 2-1. Finds the bottom of the strike zone. It's going to even up the count at 2-2. What feels like a year ago, but actually was only yesterday morning, Ponce had a pretty good game in the leadoff role for Wilmington, went 2 for 4. A couple of singles, a run scored. And up taking ball 3 and the first batter of the game here for Williams. It's a full count.
Yeah, your prototypical leadoff hitter, a guy that'll hit for a high average. He'll draw his walks. He'll get on base, first base, and usually turns those opportunities into doubles with 19 stolen bases as well. So don't want to walk him here.
Payoff pitch. Slow chopper, but ends up going foul actually right at the plate. So we'll do it at least one more time. Ponce now carries a 7-game hitting streak into this one, as well as a 20-game on-base streak. So to just further emphasize your point, a great leadoff hitter. Pitch number 7 of this opening at-bat here in the bottom of the first. It's a line drive, straightaway center. Taking a couple steps back is Trey Mason, but he easily takes that one in for the first out of this inning.
On the screws, but we've talked about balls weirdly travel here. It seems like down the lines they kind of die, but up the middle it kind of keeps carrying. We talked about the wind blowing out to right fields yesterday, kind of reversed course and now going towards the left. So we'll see if maybe some of those pulled balls in the air can get going.
Beautiful day here in Waterbury yet again. 55 degrees, a little bit of a wind chill, 7 miles per hour out towards left field, as you mentioned. And, man, Tyler Perrung, he's the CACC Player of the Year. He has a consistent approach. He likes to be aggressive. We saw that yesterday, and first pitch single for him yet again today.
Yeah, if he gets his pitch, he's going to go swing at it, and he does that there. A couple first pitch at-bats that ended for him, and again, he's another guy that can turn a single into a double real quick. 38 stolen bases.
We got the number 1 and the number 2 stolen base leaders in the conference featured in this crosstown rivalry. Looked like he was about to go there for a second, but again, first pitch swinging for Klump this time. High fly ball, easily handled out and left by Keith. There's 2 away.
They've gone aggressive against Williams after Ponce. Long at bat, 7-8 pitches, and then pitch 1, pitch 2 since then have produced 2 results. So,
yeah, really interesting. And I certainly understand not wanting to give the red light on a first pitch to any of these top, really 6 hitters in this lineup you can go after. But at the same time, you want to make Corey Williams work because he's shown that he can give you length throughout the course of the season. Still a runner on first, 2 men gone. Brings us over to yesterday's starting pitcher, today's first baseman, Chase Fleming.
And an interesting profile, a throw left, bat right guy.
Yeah.
Usually it's the other way around, and Ricky Henderson famously was a bat left or a throw left, bat right guy.
Big wave and a miss for strike 1, and feels like you always hear about Ricky Henderson every time you see that left/right on your scorecard. I almost never, as you mentioned, see the right/left. It's just interesting. Well, what's also interesting is his 366 batting average he carries into this game. Runner takes off, or almost took off, I should say, but either way, it's a hard ground ball through the right side of the infield, and that 366 is going to go up a little bit after that base knock. Possible 2-out rally for him in here for Wilmington.
Yeah, it works for him. I'm not going to change it. He throws left, bats right, and he does well in both categories. We saw that yesterday on the mound, and we've got the history of his season, how good it was, and at the plate, again, 366 going up, and probably an OPS now hitting 1,000 at 995 coming into that at-bat.
Moves things over to Brett Walmsley. It doesn't get any easier facing Walmsley, who leads the entire conference in batting average with a 422. And over 1,000 OPS. That's good for third in the conference at 1186 as well. First team all-conference catcher selection. Takes ball 2 off the outside corner, and he's in a really good spot here. A tricky situation for Corey Williams. 2 on, 2 out, but behind in the count 2-0, and you're facing one of the best bat-to-ball hitters in the entire league.
He had a couple hits yesterday. He was real nice in game 1.
2-0. That's a good pitch. 2-0 count. Spin the breaking ball on the outside corner, and you steal a strike there.
Seemed like every catcher had a really good game. De La Cruz had 2 real big games. Current had a late inning double.
There's a little blooper out to shallow left field. Going to be a tough play for the left fielder, but easily made after a nice running catch by Roman Keith, and that's going to end things here in the first. Wilmington gets a couple of base runners via a couple of base hits, but get nothing to show for it. Still scoreless heading to the second. We go to the bottom of the second here in Waterbury. The top of the second, I should say, here in Waterbury. Still scoreless. Wilmington back out on the field, and so is Xavier Cortez out on the bump, ready to face off against the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Cortez picked up 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 first inning. Throws ball 1 here to Roman Keith to lead off the Lightning.
Yeah, looking already a lot sharper than his previous outing, like we said, was the catalyst. Probably didn't get much help from the defense with the 6 runs, but only 2 earned in that 17-8 win against Bridgeport.
Keith, a second-team all-conference selection at the plate. Takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Enters this one with the second most games played this year, and that's pretty much a theme. These coaches like to trust their guys. Roman Keith, certainly one of the trusted guys in that Goldey-Beacom locker room. 306 batting average, 14 doubles, 9 homers, and 47 RBIs.
Yeah, it's easy to pencil in a guy with an almost 1,000 OPS every day and not really think much about it.
True that. Especially, best ability is availability. As Roman Keith gets on base via the leadoff walk, tends to lead to bad things. And it's the first base runner of the game for Goldey-Beacom. But, man, when you can play 51 games in the season, that's impressive.
Yeah, season's a little longer here in Division II compared to usually hang around Division III levels. So they play a few extra games, and it means a lot. It's a lot on the body.
And still plenty more to go for pretty much all 3 of these teams that we're going to see today. It's mostly about seeding at this point, but it's never a guarantee to make the NCAA tournament, so you always want to put your best foot forward. That is, unless you win the tournament.
Yeah, then you're kind of –
you're
just chilling, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a decent chance, especially with how well Felician performed last year, how hot they've been here, with these 2 teams being the top 2 teams in the conference that had 4 representatives last year. There's a good chance that all 3 of these teams, no matter what happens, could get in. But, again, you can't leave anything to chance. Only one team is guaranteed.
So Zach Smethers, in a 1-1 count, decides to take time, think some things over. Goldey-Beacom donning their away jerseys today. Meanwhile, Wilmington, the same ones we saw yesterday, those all-black jerseys, black caps as well. Taking a look at Smethers' game, he had a great first game yesterday. Went 2 for 4 in the day, 3 RBIs, a couple of doubles. Hits one hard through the left side of the infield for a base hit just under the glove of Garrett Quinn. It's a couple of runners on here in the second for Goldey-Beacom.
It might not go down as an error, but definitely a play that should be made here at third base. And, again, the defense that we talked about hasn't really come into play in Game 1 as they were able to throw up 7 runs or 6 runs on the board. But right there, it's probably a play that should be made. Can't assume the double play, but probably would have been a real nice starter of one. And now you got 2 on, no outs instead of potentially no on, 2 outs.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty hard hit off the bat of Zach Smethers as well. So it was going to be a tough play to try to get a glove on that. I think you'd at least like to knock it down for sure, but either way, it does go down as a base hit in the scorebook, and have this mound meeting right now trying to maybe calm down Xavier Cortez a bit, although Xavier Cortez did give up the leadoff walk, which wasn't great, but wasn't the worst at-bat or result there to Zach Smethers. Brings us over to Brent Williams now at third base.
And Cortez has been very, very consistent. We talked about that blow-up start, but other than that, it's basically been, hey, I'm going to give you 6 really good innings pretty much the rest of the year. A couple outings in the beginning of the year that were around 5 innings to give you a 7-inning performance, an 11-1 win against Caldwell with 7 strikeouts. But he's been super consistent.
Williams squares around, pulls it back, ends up taking ball 1. Boy, first baseman Chase Fleming so far in as you have to be, but that always just scares me, especially when batters here pull it back like that.
And we've seen that already happen yesterday, a bunt that was slashed and actually ended up as a double play, a pretty good play.
Squares around again, pulls it back, and this time a wave and a miss for Brent Williams. Count evens up at 1-1. Williams, a .286 hitter, 801 OPS. Lost his 3-game hit streak in the second round of this tournament. Went 0 for 4 in that game with a couple of strikeouts. Looking to bounce back. Takes ball 2 upstairs. Not only did he lose that 3-game hit streak, but during that 3-game hit streak, all 3 of those games were multi-hits. So looking to China to just bounce right back, and if he can, he's been a huge help to Goldey-Beacom. This time he actually gets the bunt down. Fleming going to go to third with it, and it ends up going into left field. Oh, that's going to be an error, I believe, on the first baseman, Fleming. It allows a run to come in and score, and Goldey-Beacom takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, the right play. It looked like it was on target and just obviously just a little bit low and skipped away from Quinn. And, again, the defense hampering the Wilmington Wildcats for a second straight plate appearance.
Tough break for Xavier Cortez out on the mound. Felt like you did your job there. You got the type of play you wanted. I mean, you got the bunt, I guess, but still. Allows a run to score, an unearned run on his line, but there's still two in scoring position here. Sean Roy steps up to the plate, who came up clutch yesterday in the 9th inning, tied the game on a pinch hit RBI single.
Yeah, very clutch, and he's gotten a decent amount of playing time, 282 average. 26 runs, 7 doubles, 17 RBI after his one last night. Also stole a base in a golden opportunity for Goldey-Beacom.
It's another line drive into left field. It's another RBI for the freshman Roy. The ball gets bobbled in left field. 1 run scores. 2 runs come home and score. It's a 3-0 Lightning lead. Sean Roy picks up a couple of RBIs here today. That's now 10 RBIs over his last 6 games for the freshman. He is on a hot streak like no other right now.
That's an understatement for sure. And like I said, in this game, trying to get a good spot early in this game is going to be crucial. And Goldey-Beacom is the one who have it.
Quick pickoff move, and they got him picked off. Got him in a rundown now. And Sean Roy is going to be tagged out over at second base. Nicely done by Xavier Cortez. And Roy was just going right there on movement, basically. And Cortez said, I'll take the out.
That'll be his first caught stealing of the year. I think that's big for Cortez. Just have clear the bases. Just kind of reset. You've given up 3 runs, but really not your fault in most of them. You did give up the single there, but really just reset. Have a clean slate. Try to regroup.
Yeah, the only true barrel of the inning was the Sean Roy 2 RBI single. So it's Joey Current now. Takes ball 1 up and above the strike zone. Current also had a pretty notable game yesterday. Hit a big double in the 9th inning and was the game-tying run, but he got pinch ran for at that point.
Yeah, it seemed like every catcher for Beto Gomez had a triple for Jefferson. He had the big day.
Grounds one right back up the middle. Easy picking for Perrin. Throws it to first for the second out. And as you mentioned, I think just having a clear base path, right? No runners on, able to throw out of the windup. Just kind of reset mentally in the inning. Might have helped Xavier Cortez there.
Yeah, I think it's important to, especially for starters who are used to coming in clean innings and all that, and just kind of get back to your fundamentals, get back to your mechanics, and kind of try to shake that off, clean slate. It got the out there they needed.
Trey Mason stepping up to the right-handed batter's box, takes strike 1. Mason in center field today, a .236 hitter. But once again, one of those very trusted guys for Goldey-Beacom. This is his 52nd game of the season and 49th start. Squares around, pulls it back, and might be ill-advised there as it's strike 2.
Yeah, he was patrolling center field, which is even more stress on the body. You've seen him try to drop down bunts. I'm sure he hasn't just picked this up this weekend.
No, for sure not.
So he's running around constantly, and being able to do that plus play all those games has been real nice for Goldey-Beacom.
We talk about a .236 batting average, but take a look at the last 7 games for Trey Mason, including his 0 for 3 last night. He's hitting .391. Yeah. So, I mean, certainly understandable keeping him in the lineup with how hot he's been lately.
Yeah, he's good. And he has some pop, 11 doubles, 2 home runs. I think some of those doubles probably singles that he stretches into doubles.
Oh, and a late called strike 3 ends the inning, and Trey Mason goes down looking. So that one's got to sting. A nice bounce back there in the inning for Xavier Cortez, but the damage is done as Goldey-Beacom scores 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and they don't leave anyone stranded on the base pass. It's a 3-0 lead in favor of the Lightning. Back in Waterbury in a 3-0 Goldey-Beacom lead, but as we've seen in pretty much every single one of these games leading up to this point, no lead is safe here in the CACC tournament, especially not when you're playing Wilmington University. So we'll see how they want to attack Corey Williams, who ran into some trouble, got 2 runners on in the first, but got himself out of a jam. First pitch in to Cam Trago. Finds the strike zone on the inside corner, and the count goes to 0-1.
Yeah, and history of this tournament will tell us that the pressure's actually still on the Goldey-Beacom bats to keep scoring.
Yeah.
We've seen teams get up 4, get up 2, and then kind of go quiet and then allow these teams to come back. Like you mentioned, all the games we had comebacks of that nature. So kind of the pressure's on the team that's up to keep scoring and keep, expanding on their lead.
Just ask Jefferson. They had a 4-run lead in their first game. Ended up losing that one, and then had a 5-run lead in their second. Ended up getting eliminated after that game.
Yeah, tough scene for sure.
Going to be a 1-2 count to Trago, who enters today with a 358 average and a 1,096 OPS. Righty on lefty. Oh, a little check swing, but it's ruled strike 3 either way. That's going to go down as the first strikeout of the game for Corey Williams, and out number 1 in the second.
They try to hold up and just right on the top of the zone and kind of got Trago halfway, and that's going to send you the full way back to the bench.
Brings us over to Zach Frame, the right fielder today. Another two-way player on the roster and does have a couple of appearances this year on the mound.
Yeah, a few of these players do. Obviously, we saw Fleming yesterday. Garrett Quinn, the third baseman, has 5 saves on the season. Ryan Kendall, we didn't see. Brandon Grigo, who we haven't seen. They both do pitching and the hitting.
At least in this tournament, but I would assume in the conference, the most two-way players on the roster, at least listed that way.
Oh, yeah. At least have, statistics that way.
1-1 count to Frame. A 356 hitter. Boy, these numbers are just cartoonish after a certain point, aren't they? Barely below 1,000 OPS at 997 this year. 27 RBIs and 15 doubles, tied for the 6th most.
7-hole hitter, by the way.
Ooh, he was on that pitch, fouled it straight back. Evens up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, that's 2 this at bat. Both strikes have gone straight back here, so he's on it. He just needs to straighten it out and get barrel to ball.
Big pitch for Williams here. From the stretch, the 2-2 offering. Once again, straight into the backstop it goes. Frame coming off a decent game 1. He went 1 for 4 in it. Had a couple of strikeouts, but also a 2 RBI single.
And that ended up being your difference, winning by 1.
Yeah. Insurance runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the second. Oh, good-looking pitch. Doesn't get the call, does Corey Williams. That seemed to be the same pitch that the home plate umpire rung Cam Trago up on only a batter ago.
Yeah, I think with it being the more curveball slider profile, probably doesn't get the call as the fastball would at the top of the zone, but still a real nice pitch.
Payoff pitch just off the outside corner. That's a really good at-bat from Zach Frame. Falling behind the count, working it back full, and ultimately getting a walk because of it. First free pass given up by Corey Williams today.
Right after the strikeout, so the FIP evens out.
Brings us over to Justin Hernandez. But before that, take a quick look over on first to check on Zach Frame. Does have 14 stolen bases and 18 attempts this year, so certainly got to keep an eye.
And this is the part of the lineup you have to win consistently today. Hernandez, Quinn, the 2 weaker hitters, still OPS in the 750s for both of them around that mark. Hernandez a little bit lower than that, Quinn a little bit higher than that. But this is the part of the lineup you have to win because you're not going to be able to rest from 1 through 7. And you really can't rest against these guys. We have to challenge them and make them beat you.
Good pitch on the outside corner to even the count at 1 apiece. And you're absolutely right. It's just crazy to think about because a weaker hitter's a 297 batting average, a 408 on base percentage. Just shows the depth on this Wilmington roster is insane.
Yeah, you have to make them make those numbers true.
1-1. Slow ground ball to the right side, could be 2. Instead, the second baseman, Stewart, makes the smart play there, I think, and just goes to first for the second out of the inning.
Had a play like that similarly yesterday as well, and he's a smart player, and he's going to get the out and now forces basically just one more out to get out of things, and that's what you love from your junior second baseman.
And to your point, too, it's a bit of knowing the lineup as well. You got the 9-hole hitter coming up. Again, 9-hole hitter. 323 hitter, however. That's Garrett Quinn stepping up to the plate. Fouling off the first one. A 750 OPS on top of that 323 average. 13 walks, 17 strikeouts, 3 doubles, and a triple, but no homers this year. The 0-1 offering. Another good pitch taken just a bit below the zone.
Yeah, more of a traditional curveball, or it could just be the overhand motion there. But see, I think slider's the popular pitch here, but he's more going with a regular 10-4 curveball.
Yeah, it's not too often you see that somewhat 12-6, as you said, 10-4 curveball. 2-1 pitch. Hard ground ball to the right side, but positioned perfectly was Bobby Stewart. He was playing in shallow right field to start with, and that's right where the ball went for the final out of the inning. Hey, that's great job by the coaching staff of Goldey-Beacom to know the shift there. And ultimately in the frame, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left in scoring position. Still a 3-0 lead in favor of Goldey-Beacom. Two innings in the books. And it's a 3-0 Goldey-Beacom lead here in the CACC tournament semifinals. Winner of this one has a date in the championship tomorrow. Loser of this one has a date with Felician later this afternoon. Cody Shalafu to my right. I'm Max Stapleton. We're thrilled to be bringing you through this action today. Top of the third, top of the order for Goldey-Beacom, going up against Xavier Cortez, trying to add on to their 3-0 lead. It's Caden Barmer, who's 0 for 1, struck out swinging to start this game off.
Talked about it. Pressure kind of on Goldey-Beacom here for the bats. We've seen every game a late inning comeback, whether they've completed it or fallen short. It's gotten close in all these games. So trying to add on another 1 or 2, especially on the second time through the top of the lineup, trying to get to Cortez here and knock him out early, get to that bullpen.
And on the other side of things for Cortez, it was an uber clean 1-2-3, 2 strikeout inning in the first, and then ran into a good amount of trouble in the second. And if this is any type of sign for how this inning's going to go, I mean, a 3-pitch strikeout to start it off is pretty good.
His 4th strikeout, he needed that. Again, a really clean as you can get first inning, and then a pretty bumpy second inning. Didn't get help from his defense much. Was able to kind of calm it all down. But a 1-2-3 inning imperative or at least a 4-batter inning, something clean, something you're not going to really worry too much about.
Especially to the top of the order. And Bobby Stewart, meanwhile, sends a drive into deep left field. Klump going to the warning track. It is off the top of the wall. Boy, the highest hit double you will see all season long, and it's Bobby Stewart putting another man in scoring position for Goldey-Beacom.
Yeah, Stewart might have had almost a Manny Ramirez single there. You think he thought that was gone, and I was waiting for him to get in my peripheral here with the big wall in front of me, and he's on second base as Klump got to it, but I think he thought that one was gone. He should probably be on third with how high that ball just hung up there.
It hung up there for a really long time. To be fair, I also thought it was gone, and the wind is blowing out in that direction. It might have helped with the ball hanging up there for some period of time, but either way, it's a man in scoring position, only one gone. And the 3-hole hitter, Jamie Neris Jr., takes a big wave and a miss for strike one.
Yeah, Neris is a guy that every time he comes at the plate, you just have a feeling that something in Goldey-Beacom's favor is going to happen. He's just one of those electric type of guys, and 331 average. We talked about how quick he is getting the bat head around, and that bat speed's a big talking point in modern baseball now.
He's only listed at 5'10", 185 pounds, but he looks bigger than that, stronger than that. I mean, he's got a huge frame. He's got a lot of pop, and it's represented by his .630 slugging percentage this year.
Yeah, I mean, he plays 6'2", 230.
Yeah, no kidding. 0-2. Good job just staying alive there from Neris, who is 0 for 1 with the strikeout. Was a good battle in his first at-bat. 6 pitches, but ultimately went down swinging. Sophomore out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Already in the 3 spot for this team.
Yeah, him being a sophomore is huge. He had 2 more years of hopefully production like this, if not better. That's player of the year categories here in the next couple of years.
Takes ball 1 off the outside corner. This is a possible championship preview. Still a lot to be decided, but one of these teams is going to go to the championship, whoever wins this one. They are the 1 and 2 seeds in this tournament. Not to mention, this is pretty much as crosstown of a rivalry as it gets. We looked it up in between innings here. Both these teams based in Wilmington, Delaware. You can drive only 18 minutes down the road and run into the other campus. So, got to imagine there's some bad blood here, a bit of a rivalry going on. And, boy, they are keeping a close eye on Bobby Stewart. Rightfully so. That's the conference leader in stolen bases over there on second base. But that's 2 in a row.
It'd be 40 for 40 if he swipes his next bag. Or I guess when he swipes his next bag. It's more of a when, not an if with him. Had 2 yesterday.
Good job just staying alive there for Jamie Neris. Might not have been a strike, but probably too close to take. And I like that approach in a 1-2 count. You could see the intensity from Neris every time he steps into the bat.
Just a fun at-bat to
Seriously.
watch. Just watching him, it's so fun. He's so intense but loose. It's so fun.
Big wave and a miss and a big strikeout for Xavier Cortez on the mound. Number 5 of this game. Both the outs in this inning have been strikeouts. And Cortez looks pretty good to start off this game despite running into trouble.
Yeah, and that double I thought was going to be more trouble potentially than it could be. Obviously still not out of the woods yet, but if you can get Keith here, I think that's a big confidence boost to Cortez.
Much easier said than done. Keith fouls off the first pitch he sees, worked a walk, and his only plate appearance so far today. Couple of base hits in game 1 for him against Jefferson. Also struck out a couple of times. But ultimately a 4-game hitting streak entering today and a 21-game on-base streak. Well, actually, 22-game now, including today. Quick check on the runner on second, but Bobby Stewart wasn't more than 6 inches off the bag there.
That's how quick he is. You got to keep him honest.
I mean, yeah, Tyler Perrong is playing like a first baseman right now over at second base. He's pretty much towing the bag, and then it's another quick move over there. Also, I believe in DT, you have to throw over to second base if you make the move. Otherwise, it's technically called a box. That's why you see that kind of half-hearted throw a lot of the times. And we'll get a 1-1. Runner takes off. The throw down to third base. Nicely stopped over at third by Garrett Quinn. Boy, that saved a ball from going into the outfield and possibly another run from scoring. But either way, it is stolen base number 40 on the year for Bobby Stewart.
How frustrating is that? To literally throw the ball over before the guy even gets off the bag. And then he just has a great secondary lead there and then just blinding. It was a good throw from Walmsley, even going around the right-handed batter.
It's more or less where you want it, maybe a little too far to the right, but a great stop by Quinn as well.
And really a base that's not going to be too harmful. I think a base hit here would have scored him from second base anywhere. There are very few scenarios where a base hit wouldn't have scored him.
I'm going to guess that wasn't a call from the dugout to go ahead and swipe there. I'm going to guess that was Stewart's decision. Yeah. Oh, and there's a called strike 3 to end this third inning. So ultimately, Goldey-Beacom gets a runner on third, but nothing to show for it as Xavier Cortez strikes out the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. It's 3-0 in favor of the Lightning here on the CACC network. We go to the bottom half of inning number 3. Wilmington looking to erase a 3-0 deficit. And, hey, maybe the right spot of the order here. Top of the order coming up in this third inning, starting with D'Angelo Ponce. Corey Williams, he's looked pretty darn good through the first 2 frames of his afternoon. Really, morning, I should say. So used to a 1 o'clock start post. 11 o'clock's got me tripped up a little bit with the afternoons and mornings. But either way, Ponce, after a good battle in his first at-bat, ended up going down via a flyout. And now an 0-1 count.
And then after him, the next 3 hitters saw, I think, a total of 4 pitches, 5 pitches.
He bloops one into shallow right field here, ranging over and diving and making the catch is Caden Barmer. Oh, what a play by the right fielder.
Doing it both ways with the bat last game, and then with this one, a nice diving catch, ranging over, laying out, and putting the body on the line for a big out number 1.
It was a little blooper that looked like it had extra bases written all over it, just kind of towing that right field line. And Caden Barmer, who, remember, is the walk-off hero for Goldey-Beacom in yesterday's game, making a tremendous play in right field. Prevents the leadoff runner from getting on and prevents an opportunity for Tyler Perrung. Perrung at the plate, the player of the year in the conference, and well-deserved, a .393 average. It's the 3rd best, a 108.6 OPS. That's top 10 as well. Takes strike 2 on the outside corner. Perrung, bit of a disagreement with the home plate umpire on that one. One of the reasons he won Conference Player of the Year was his 17 multi-hit games this season. And just a great piece of hitting that time around as it's base hit into right field. Tripping up is the right fielder Barmer. Taking a big turn around first was Perrung, but decided to just hold up there. Barmer recovered nicely. Ultimately got the ball in relatively quickly.
Another multi-hit game for Perrung there.
Yep.
With his single in the first, got to second base, and then single here in the third.
Call it his 18th multi-hit game of the season. He went 1 for 4 in game 1, or actually in round 2, I should say. But for him, it might feel like a bit of a disappointment. For most people, that's just a normal day at the office. Quick check on him over on first to no avail. It's Brian Klump now at the plate, who flied out in the first pitch he saw back in the first. Runner takes off. The pitch gets fouled straight back. And Perrin will have to make his way back to first. Klump this year a .353 hitter. 6 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 30 runs batted in. He's also got 10 more walks than strikeouts.
Couple doubles for him in game 1. Ended up being our post-game interview, and talked about he transferred into this team but just loves these guys. And a lot of these guys are constantly switching schools, moving around, just kind of the new age. And to have that good chemistry after coming, a lot of these guys come from different schools, and building that up in just 1 year is impressive.
Take strike 2. Came over from St. Thomas Aquinas College, another D2 with a very, very high reputation. Goes from kind of one powerhouse D2 school to another. Runner takes off the 0-2. Off the outside corner. The throw down to second base. In time. What a throw by Joey Curran to catch the speedy Tyler Perrung. That's only the 4th caught stealing of the year for Tyler Perrung, and Joey Curran shows off the cannon.
Yeah, he shot it down there. Took just a slide step to make a better angle and pump it in. And right side of the bag, diving in so the tag would just catch and apply, and that was perfect. It's executed beautifully.
Klump stays alive at the plate, and wow, good opportunity for Corey Williams to get through the top of the order while facing the minimum here in the third. Only 1 pitch away from doing that if he can execute it. The 1-2. Hard ground ball to the right side. Once again, Stewart playing in shallow right field. Throw to first, pulls the first baseman off the bat. That was after a pretty quick bobble. To be fair, Klump was hustling the entire way, but I still think that's probably going to go down as an E4.
Yeah, whether on the field or on the throw. Yeah, 2 right fielders is definitely a strategy. But it's worked. Both times he's been out there, he's gotten the ball there. So whatever the scouting report is at Goldey-Beacom, keep it up.
Kudos to Tom Riley, Matt Trait, Mike Peden, Bill Marriott, and the rest of the Goldey-Beacom staff, because that scouting is working, to say the least. First pitch swinging for Chase Fleming, and he drives one in the left center field. This one's going to find some grass, and it will be extra bases. Rounding third and scoring easily is Brian Klump. Making his way into third is Fleming, and he will get there sliding for an RBI triple.
Yeah, just textbook gap power. Mason, the diving effort, but probably keeps Fleming at second base if he just plays it off the hop. He dove, and it was actually Keith that hustled through and get it into the gap, and a big spark with 2 outs. And, again, the error would have gotten you out of that inning. And defense, they had 4 errors for Goldey-Beacom yesterday. We thought that might come back to bite them, ended up not. But, yeah, you can't make those mistakes against a team like this. Extra outs are not going to go over well.
1,000%, and Chase Fleming hits his second triple of the year. It's RBI number 44 for him on the season. Remember, this is a guy who just pitched 6 2/3 yesterday as well. And this ball is driven out into center field by Brett Walmsley, going back on the warning track, looking up, and it's off the top of the wall. Trey Mason fields it on a hop. It's another run scored, an RBI double for Brett Walmsley, and it's a 1-run game, 3-2.
2 very hard-hit baseballs back-to-back between Fleming and Walmsley, 2 of the top hitters in the conference. And, again, Williams should be out of this and chilling on the bench right now, but he has to shake that and bear down. And like we said, you got to put up more runs, and just like that, you're only up by 1.
Cam Trago is going to try to tie it up here for Wilmington. Actually squares it down, looking to bump for a base hit. Fielded on the bare hand by Current. The throw down to first in time. Tough play. Made to look easy by the catcher, Joey Current, who he himself has made a couple of great defensive plays this inning and ultimately saves the tying run from being scored. But Wilmington inching their way a little bit closer. It's now a 3-2 ball game. Give you the line scores through 3 innings of work so far in Waterbury. For Goldey-Beacom, 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. Meanwhile, for the home team, Wilmington, 2 runs on 5 hits and an error. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7-hole hitter stepping up to the plate for Goldey-Beacom, starting with Zach Smethers and Xavier Cortez back out on the mound. Cortez, he's looked pretty good so far, as we've mentioned. Ran into trouble, but it really wasn't all his fault back into the second inning. And otherwise, he's picked up 6 strikeouts in this game already.
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag.
Hard ground ball to the left side. Quinn on the backhand. Throw to first. Nicely done by the third baseman, Garrett Quinn. The longest throw you can make across the diamond. And it was done to perfection that time for the first out.
Yeah, like I said, a bit of a mixed bag for Cortez. And other than the double by Stewart and maybe the single by Roy earlier in the game, really hasn't got hit too hard. It's been a combination of some errors and some plays that just got by his fielders.
Certainly helps when your third baseman can make a throw like that. So coming up, it's going to be Brent Williams now, who was the beneficiary of one of those errors earlier. And it puts another ball in play. Going for the diving stop was Hernandez, the shortstop, but just coming up a little bit short. Ends up going off the end of his glove and into left field. That's going to go down as a base hit.
Yeah, it was a chopper that hit off the lip of the grass and then just smoothed out and turned into just a good ground ball. I think that was going to bounce into the glove of Hernandez. Still a tough play. I don't know if he would have made it, but definitely made it harder once it kind of changed trajectory after it hit the grass.
So how about the month that Sean Roy is having at the plate right now? Already 1 for 1 today. Was picked off, so a little bit of a bittersweet taste in your mouth, but picked up a couple of RBIs on his single back in the second inning.
Man, as a freshman, too, we talked about it. Not many freshmen get to come out there and make an impact for these Division II programs. There's so much talent, and he's done that.
Now actually has 11 RBIs in his last 7 games, if you include yesterday's pinch hit RBI single as well. So, I mean, he has just come up in clutch moment after clutch moment for this team of late. RBI, or a possible opportunity to try to add another RBI to his ledger. Not to mention, in 2 games against Holy Family in round 1, he went 2 for 7. You'll never guess it. Picked up 2 RBIs.
Wouldn't have put my finger on that.
Quick check on the runner on first in Williams. It'll be a 1-1 count to the true freshman. One of the 2 righty on lefty matchups Cortez will face in this lineup. Big wave and a miss, and it goes to 1-2. It's Roy, Current, and Mason are the next three batters due up. And then the top of the order for Goldey-Beacom. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike three. Call it strikeout number 7. And we're only 3 2/3 innings into this one for Xavier Cortez.
Yeah, Cortez is really dealing. Had 8 strikeouts in his first appearance of the season against Franklin Pierce, and 8 strikeouts against Felician on March the 28th.
Sean Roy is still in there, so maybe he got a piece of that one. Either way, this one's a slow ground ball. First baseman Fleming takes the smart play once again and only gets the 1 out. Interesting there. I could have sworn that was strike 3, but instead doesn't go as a strikeout. Goes as a ground ball. 3-1 there for Sean Roy.
Well, either way, 6 strikeouts right now. Only a couple of times he's hit 7, so he's kind of pretty much at where he usually, the high end of where he usually is. His 7th and 8th strikeouts would be his season high. Again, 8 2 times, but he usually does sit around 7 or so, but usually that's through 6 full innings. He only threw 3 here.
First pitch swinging for Current. Should be easy pickings for Garrett Quinn, and that'll do it here in the 4th. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 man left stranded on the base path. Still 3-2, heading to the bottom of 4. Bottom 4, 3-2 lead in favor of Goldey-Beacom, but Wilmington coming back up to the plate. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters trying to do some damage, or I should say continue to do some damage against Corey Williams, who gave up his first couple of runs only an inning ago.
Yeah, trying to continue to jump on Williams.
Hard hit on the first pitch for Zach Frame, but ends up an 8 and 9 hole hitters trying to do some damage, or I should say continue to do some damage against Corey Williams, who gave up his first couple of runs only an inning ago.
Yeah, trying to continue to jump on Williams.
Hard hit on the first pitch for Zach Frame, but ends up staying up there more than long enough for Roman Keith, and 1 pitch, 1 out for
Doesn't exist.
Trying to get out of the inning. 1-2-3 is Corey Williams, the 1-2. Good job once again by Garrett Quinn, just staying alive. And it might not show in the scorebook, but Quinn's having a pretty good game right now. Working a battle here against one of the better pitchers in the entire conference. A couple of really good plays at the hot corner. The 1-2. That's a tough take. Just above the strike zone, evens the count at 2 apiece.
And this also sets up a lot of things. You move the eye level high. Now you can go sweeper that curveball low and away. Kind of gives you a whole couple of different ways to play here.
Slow ground ball right over to the third baseman Williams. The throw across the diamond in time, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Corey Williams as he nods his head, walking back towards the dugout, getting some love taps from his teammates. Goldey-Beacom coming back up to bat, trying to extend on their 3-2 lead. Almost halfway through this one. It's been a fun crosstown rivalry matchup between the two Wilmington, Delaware native schools. Got a little bit of an infield change for you as we enter the top of the fifth, but get that to you in just a second. First pitch into Trey Mason finds the strike zone. So Stephen Catch, who came into the game in the last half inning as a pinch hitter, he is now your third baseman for Wilmington, and Garrett Quinn moves from the hot corner over to shortstop. Trey Mason tried squaring it around and goes to 0-2 on him now. He's 0 for 1 on the day, was rung up on a call he did not like to end the second inning. Tall right-handed hitter going up against a tough right-handed pitcher. And the hitter wins that battle that time. A good line drive through the right side of the infield for a base hit to lead off this fifth inning.
Yeah, Mason just going the other way with it. And we've seen him, even at the 9-hole hitter, obviously, like you said, hitting almost 400 over the last few games or so. And he just goes the other way with it, does exactly what the pitch wants him to do, and just wins that battle. Now you got some speed on the base pass and can kind of start trying to create some havoc. Like we said, we don't want to see Goldey-Beacom offense just kind of go numb after the 3 in the second inning.
Go back to the top of the order now. A very dangerous top of the order, but one that's been limited so far. Only 1 for 6 combined 2 times through between Barmer, Stewart, and Neris Jr. of Goldey-Beacom. Quick check over on Trey Mason on first, who you do need to check on. He's 14 for 15 in stolen bags this year.
Yeah, that one, though, was almost a home run from Stewart. That thing was smoked. Also the pettiest stolen base of all time, probably.
I wouldn't go to call it petty, but it was definitely an interesting stolen base because if you remember, it was Stewart who was, constantly getting thrown at second base, and Stewart just said, I'm just going to take third because I'm just sick of this. Either way, this time, trying to lay down a bunt was Caden Barmer, and he hustles it out. He's safe.
It was a bobble by Cortez. He went to pick it up and juggled it a bit. So we'll see if they penalize Cortez with it. If it is, it'll be the second error. If not, an infield base hit on a bunt that actually ended up being quite perfect.
It does end up going as an E1. So, as you mentioned, the second error of the game on Cortez. And some really good hustle from Caden Barmer allows Goldey-Beacom to be in business here in the fifth. It's 2 men on, nobody out, and the heart of the order coming to the plate. Probably the man who's hit the ball the hardest today. It's Bobby Stewart.
And he should be swinging away, but we have seen teams use their, like right here, the top hitters just square it down. You have a job to do. So we have seen pretty much every team, I think, use a middle or top of the order bat to try to get a bunt down in this exact situation. 2 on, no outs, and trying to move them both in the scoring position. They're not afraid to sacrifice an at-bat from one of your top hitters. We also have seen a lot of the slash to pull back and swing.
Ball gets away from the catcher, Walmsley. Both the runners move up, and now it's 2 in scoring position for Goldey-Beacom here. Both the corners, by the way, were playing very far in on that attempt, so Bobby Stewart did pull it back and ended up swinging. Anything down the lines would have probably worked anyway, but might be all for moot now as we're going to have a mound visit.
And it could also be just like a get-in-your-head move. Like, you're not really going up there to bunt. When the pitcher sees that, they want to make sure the pitch goes in, and you see Cortez yank it there, definitely trying to get something in the right spot, and now that just eliminates that. Now you have Stewart up with 2 in, and you've seen him almost go yard just a couple innings ago.
It's the first wild pitch thrown or pass ball by either side. And as we've talked about numerous times, maybe the most, and there's been a lot of really impressive things throughout the first couple of games of this conference tournament, maybe the most impressive, in my opinion, has been just the catcher play we've seen, both defensively and offensively. It's really not often you see catchers hitting over 300, and all 4 of them, I believe, were doing so coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fine, but we've seen some good catcher play, like you said. And
wasn't a whole lot that Walmsley could do about that last pitch from Xavier Cortez. So now it's 2 in scoring position, Bobby Stewart at the plate, and a 1-0 count. Another good stop by Walmsley behind the plate, likely saved a run, but job doesn't get very easy here. And you wonder if they're working around Stewart a little bit. The thing is that you got Jamie Neris on deck, and he's not much of an easier at-bat either.
Yeah, I was about to say, Stewart, anything he gets close to the zone, he's probably hacking at 2-0.
Do have a base open. Third baseman, Stephen Catch, playing even with the grass. Hard line drive right to the second baseman, Perrin. Looked like he was going to try to double him up over at second, but good base running there from Barmer to get back in time. That's a big out number 1 for Cortez.
Yeah, on the screws, did everything he wanted to do with it, and again, just doesn't come up your way. And, how many times can we say that's baseball?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, really good piece of contact for Bobby Stewart, who, again, was only maybe inches away from a home run back in the third. That time, only inches away from getting a couple of RBIs. But instead, it's out number 1, and it's going to be up to Jamie Neris Jr.
Basically 2 third basemen with the shift.
Yeah, no kidding, actually. Shortstop Garrett Quinn is way off the second base bag, much closer to the third base bag, playing pretty deep on the infield. Second baseman Tyler Perrung right behind the bag. There's only one guy on the right side of the infield. That's the first baseman, Chase Fleming.
I'm sure going inside is the strategy here. Even though that can kind of be his power alley, you're playing for him to pull.
Outfield shifted pretty much the same way. Zach Frame in right field playing straightaway right, but Trago is basically in left center. And Brian Klump is guarding the left field line. The 2-0. Upstairs, 3-0 now.
Yeah, anything in the right center gap, both runners should pretty much moonwalk home.
Are you green lighting Neris here, 3-0?
For him, yeah, because I would find it very fun to watch. But I think he's just a guy that, like, if he gets a ball to hit, let him hit it. He kind of has some Javi Baez to him where he can kind of swing at anything and get contact with it.
Well, there was no chance that time around. It was an easy 4-pitch walk, and once again you wonder, with the base open, they might have been working around him. We'll leave that up to the viewers' decisions, but tend to lean that way on 4-pitch walks. Either way, especially for a guy who tends to have pretty good control. Only the second walk given up of this game. Runners on first and second, one gone. Roman Keith up to the plate. Actually, bases juiced, I should say, one man gone.
Still another big gap in right center.
Slow Squibber. Should be too slow for 2. The second baseman Perrin, smart play, only goes to first, but a job well done by Roman Keith as the run comes home to score. It's a 2-run game once again in favor of the Lightning. It's now 4-2.
Big run. I mean, any run against Wilmington's a big run, and especially trying to keep that lead a little bit more cushioned. An insurance run here could be big, and I think they can still get another one or two with just a nice hit here.
So Zach Smethers, he checked his swing but made contact in fair territory, and that's going to go as maybe the most unfortunate ground out we have seen in quite a long time. So ultimately, Xavier Cortez gets out of the inning, gives up a run, but it could have been worse. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on the base paths. Now 4-2 in favor of Goldey-Beacom on the CACC network. Home half of inning number 5, and Wilmington playing from behind yet again, as they have really all game, but once again trailed by 2 runs to their crosstown rival, the Goldey-Beacom College Lightning. Halfway through this one, joined alongside Cody Shalafu, I'm Max Stapleton, and special shout out to all the production crew here working with us, Kristen Brown, Jarrett Michaels, Michael Vesci, Leah Lockwood, and Michael Puglio as well over on the cameras in the field. They're here with us during this marathon of baseball this weekend and doing a great job. First pitch swinging to the leadoff hitter, D'Angelo Ponce. And the ball gets away from the first baseman, Zach Smethers, goes all the way to the backstop. And yet again, an error is going to come up costly. That one is going to be an error, I believe, on Sean Roy, the freshman shortstop.
Yeah, the errors, both teams making some blunders, and now the second error for Goldey-Beacom so far. We said it already. They had 4 last night. So you want to clean that up. You don't want to give free outs to either of these teams.
So Wilmington given another opportunity. Still nobody out. Now runner on first. 2 errors on each side. Ponce looked like he was going to take off. Decided to hold up, and it's strike 1. To the Conference Player of the Year, who's already 2 for 2 today, Tyler Perring. 18th multi-hit game of the season.
I like to see him try to tap into some power here. I know he's so dangerous as a singles hitter, but a 601 slug. It helps when you're hitting almost 400, but 17 doubles, a few triples, couple home runs. Would like to see him rope one into a gap and get Ponce running.
Ponce is also someone who might just run anyway. Already 1 pickoff attempt on him. He's 19 for 21 in stolen bases this year. Takes ball 1 off the inside corner. And these errors have proved to be costly on both sides today. Of course, both of the runs that Wilmington has are both unearned on Corey Williams' ledger. And if Ponce found a way to score, that one would be as well. Now goes to a 1-2 count, and this would be a big out for Corey Williams on the mound. Pitch count still in good shape, but you don't want to give any more opportunities to Wilmington than you have to.
Just 1 strikeout for him. We've seen him get into around double digits and even over double digits this year. Just hasn't had the strikeout stuff, but other than that blip in the third, hasn't really needed it.
Pretty good pitch on a 1-2 count. Barung checked his swing. Evens the count at 2 apiece.
It also doesn't help that he's facing a team that coming into play today had just one more strikeout than walk as a team offensively. So it's always impressive when a player has the walk rate pretty similar to the strikeout rate. As an entire team, that's extremely impressive. They have an advanced approach at the plate.
Pretty much the same exact pitch that time around. Makes it a 3-2 count. You're not kidding, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a team go that close to their, one off. Is really impressive.
And that's not like a weekend into the season. That's 50-plus games of work.
We're in the postseason, baby. Quick check on the runner before the payoff pitch. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ponce take off for second here. Trying to get another runner in scoring position and one of your more speedy guys in the lineup.
Especially with the contact skills of Perung, he can really find a hole somewhere.
There he goes. The 3-2 gets fouled off. So Ponce will have to make the slow trek back to first. For Perung, this is his fourth multi-hit game in his last 8 showings. I mean, there's just so many numbers you can give, but it's really, really impressive. And to your point from earlier, you said you were looking for some pop. Well, he has 4 extra base hits in his last 5 games. The only one without one was the one we saw yesterday.
Yeah. So he's very much capable.
Runner goes, the payoff pitch, down low, and it's ball 4. What an at-bat right there from Tyler Perung. 8 pitches in the at-bat, and he ends up working the walk.
Yeah, that is vital. That is big. It helps your teammates see the pitches as well. I think that we saw those in the first inning. Ponce had a similar at-bat, and then ended up everyone else was kind of first pitch swing because they see Williams. They kind of get the timing down, and having that later in the game, still being able to sit in the on-deck circle and try to time that up. And, Klump is 0 for 2 so far, reaching an error. Maybe that helps him try to put something in play and do some damage.
You can't emphasize how much patience at the plate will help out every other part of your game, too. I mean, more likely you are to not swing at balls, the more likely you are to get a good pitch to hit, the more likely you are to feel confidence in the other end. It all connects.
If you had a bat or play appearance that has at least 6 pitches seen, it's very hard for you to look at whatever the outcome is and say it was a bad at-bat. You have to do something tremendously bad, but to do that.
Klump squares around and ends up fouling off the bunt once again. So the count goes to 0-1. It's 2 men on and nobody out. After Goldey-Beacom scored a run in the last half frame, Wilmington trying to answer right back. Remember, winner of this game gets a spot in the championship tomorrow. The loser plays for their season, at least their conference season, later today. This time Klump does get the bunt down. It goes right back to the pitcher. So a job well done by Klump. Sacrifice moves both the runners over. And now there's 2 in scoring position with only 1 gone.
Yeah, finally, a team was able to get it down. I think that's like the 4th or 5th time we've seen that in the last couple of days. And I think that's the first time we've seen it actually be executed.
That is the first time I have written sacrifice bunt in my scorebook, and we have seen so many bunt attempts over the last 24 hours.
And it's always by the middle of the order. It just seems like they're in that situation, and usually it's the end of the order to get these hitters in that situation. But with everybody basically you could throw a dart at the roster, and you're probably going to hit a guy with a 900-plus OPS.
So in steps Chase Fleming. And one of the MVPs of this conference tournament so far for any team. Pitched a great outing yesterday, and so far he's 2 for 2 with a 3-bagger, an RBI, and a run scored. Yeah. Takes a strike on the inside corner there.
Big hit here. It's pretty hard to usurp him for potentially front runner of the conference tournament MVP. Or most outstanding player, most likely they
certainly a few names in the running, but right now my vote would go to Fleming. And he gets another base hit right here. It's going to add at least 1 RBI to his total as well. 1 run comes home and scores. Stopping at third is Tyler Perung. Called an RBI single for Chase Fleming, and we're back to a 1-run ball game.
Kid's an animal, man. He's just so good. We saw him on the mound dominate for 95% of his start. And that's just a big, big swing by the righty to go the other way. He can run, too. I think he has double-digit stolen bases, if I'm not mistaken.
He does. He's 16 for 17. And with runners on first and third here following this timeout that we got on Wilmington, just wanting to go over a little bit of the game plan. It'll be Brett Walmsley, who's one of the most trusted hitters in the entire conference this year. Wouldn't be surprised to see Chase Fleming try to take off for a second and put another running in scoring position. Give you the line scores here through a little over 4.5 innings. 4 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the visiting Goldey-Beacom. Meanwhile, for Wilmington, it's 3 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. Both those errors on really all 4 of the errors today have proven to be costly. A 4-3 ball game. Runners on first and third, 1 out. And the batting average leader in the conference, Brett Walmsley, up to the plate. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it off. Walmsley, he's 1 for 2 today with an RBI double back in the third.
Yeah, you definitely want to give Walmsley a chance to just hit here without any interruptions on the base pass, but I think most likely the conversation here is maybe there's a certain count or a certain sequence of pitches to see from Williams before they potentially try.
Fake the throw down to second base, so he'll have a stolen base without a contest there and make Chase Fleming now, as I check my notes once again, but that's 17 for 18 in stolen bases this season.
Yeah, I think they were definitely waiting for their moment. Didn't want to go first pitch and make it obvious, but found whatever it was, whether that was designed second pitch or just found whatever they decided the trigger was, and now 2 in scoring position for Walmsley.
Well, what a pitch that time from Corey Williams. Good morning, afternoon, and night to one of the best hitters in the entire conference, Brett Walmsley. He strikes out on 3 pitches, and now there's 2 away. There's a chance for Goldey-Beacom to still get out of this inning with the lead.
Yeah, heck of the time to find your second strikeout.
Yeah.
Especially with one of the, if not the most dangerous hitter, and that's taking into account Fleming in the Player of the Year, and Klump who had a couple of doubles. And
so now it's Cam Trago's turn at the plate. First pitch misses inside to him. Trago, 0 for 2 in this one. Tried to bunt for a base hit, but it didn't work out. It was a nice play by Joey Current the last time up. Now ahead in the count, 2-0. Trago, a .358 hitter, looking to extend his 5-game hitting streak. Quick check over on the runner on second, and the throw goes into the outfield. Oh, man, it looked like they got the runner leaning way too far off the second base bag in Fleming, but Corey Williams just air-mailed the throw, and that's going to allow the tying run to score.
I don't even think he airmailed it. I think it just popped out of the glove.
Yeah, it might have. I would certainly want to see a replay because that was a pretty unbelievable way for this game to turn tide, and we'll see who the error ends up getting awarded to.
That is.
Right now it's listed as an E1, but that is just brutal for Goldey-Beacom. And meanwhile, Trago hits one high in the air, shallow center field, and a diving catch by Trey Mason to put an end to this inning and keep the game tied. Oh, what a job by the Goldey-Beacom outfield today, and the latest is done by Trey Mason. Overall, we have a brand new ball game heading into the 6th inning. 2 runs on 1 base hit, 1 error, and a man left in scoring position. 4-4 heading into the 6th. have ourselves a brand new ball game as we enter the 6th inning. 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Goldey-Beacom. On the other side, 4 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for Wilmington. And as Goldey-Beacom steps up to the plate, it's Brent Williams, Sean Roy, and Joey Current, the 3 due up, still going up against Xavier Cortez.
I've called a lot of baseball. I know you've called a lot of baseball. I'm not going to speak for you, but for me, this is the topsiest-turviest 4 games in a row. Like, this makes me want to have a cigarette. Like, this is like I can't. Every game, there's something new, and it's the errors in this one that have had a couple runs scored. It's back and forth. This is awesome.
It has been a fun conference tournament so far, and we still got plenty more baseball left to be
so
played.
Much more.
It's going to be a 1-2 count here to Brent Williams, who's reached twice, but he's 1 for 2. One time reached on an error. And we do have a bit of a scoring update if you're keeping along at home from the 5th inning. That throw into center field is actually going to be ruled as an E6, the second error on Sean Roy in the inning. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Brent Williams lines one into right center field. It's going to split the outfielders. Should be extra bases. Williams cruises into second base for a leadoff double.
Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to tell you that a leadoff double after that kind of implosion defensively is good to have.
Yeah.
But it is good to have, especially trying to help out Williams, who I don't think any of his runs are earned. If it is just 1.
No, yeah, I have it down right now.
Yeah, no earned runs, 4 runs. So, so he's been doing what he needs to do. The defense hasn't helped him out, and having the offense come through and pick him up is big.
Also just shows, as we've said, that the mental fortitude that we've seen exemplified throughout this tournament has been really impressive. The ability to reset on a half-inning basis. And Goldey-Beacom just trying to do that right now. Specifically Sean Roy, who committed 2 errors in the field last inning, now up to the plate. He has been great with the bat in his hands as of late and might be trying to make up for something here.
Yeah, and he's earned this opportunity to have a start here in this game.
Absolutely.
Like, let's not make that – like, he has earned it with what he's done over the last couple of days, especially what he did yesterday to kind of set the table for the walk-off home run. I think he produced the game-tying RBI off the bench.
A pinch hit, game-tying RBI for a true freshman in the 9th inning with 1 out. It doesn't get much more impressive.
Yeah, and he's had good numbers above that, so he's definitely earned the right to come out here and, have a chance. Jamie Naris was our shortstop yesterday. He's now a DH.
Now has a 7-game hitting streak. That includes his single from earlier today that brought in a couple of runs. And he's going to have another base hit right here. Soft liner into right field, finds some grass. Staying put at third is Brent Williams, but Goldey-Beacom in business here. Runners on the corners, nobody gone.
Yeah, Jake Macy, the odd man out today in the lineup, but he has 1,000 OPS even after yesterday. 32 walks, 31 strikeouts. They just went with the hot hand, it seems like. And again, so you still have that in your back pocket if you do want to make a change.
We do have a mound visit here for Xavier Cortez, which to me it almost feels early to try to take him out of the game, but this is a very reasonable time. It's just compared to what we've seen over the last 24 hours, it's early. There is a man warming up in the Wilmington bullpen down the left field line.
Yeah, Wilmington they've only used 2 pitchers yesterday, Fleming and then Borgman. Borgman did throw 55 pitches, and even though he's a reliever, it's probably a dire situation if you have to use him today.
And it's almost impossible for you to be in a dire situation, at least in this game, if you're Wilmington, because you have a loss to spare for both of these teams. So I would be very shocked to see Borgman in this one. But should we get to an elimination game either today or tomorrow for Wilmington, I can almost guarantee you he'll show up in that one.
Right. But and then for Goldey-Beacom, they used Kevin Dillon for a decent amount. Obviously, Connor Blentz, I think, is still throwing at 117 pitches when he came out of the game last night. Nate Miller only tossed a little bit, so he probably is ready to go if you need him. I don't even think he got 10 pitches in.
But right now, it's a runner on first and a runner on third. Nobody gone, and a tie ball game in the top of the 6th inning. Winner of this one moves on to the championship game, championship series tomorrow, and they'll have a series advantage in that. First pitch in to Joey Current. We'll have to wait a little longer, and we'll have another check over on Sean Roy, who, as we mentioned, is 15 for 15 in stolen, actually 15 for 16 in stolen bases because he was picked off earlier today. huge wave and a miss that time for Current. He's grounded out a couple of times. That was only the 4th pitch of this game that he has seen. So he's been aggressive at the plate. Remember, in yesterday's game, he was the game-tying run, but was pinch ran for. He led off the inning with a double in the 9th. Tries to square one around this time. It's a nicely placed bunt. He gets tagged out, but it's well done either way. As the sacrifice bunt brings home a run, Brent Williams touches home. Moving up to second base is Sean Roy. And once again, Goldey-Beacom is out in front. It's 5-4.
That's how you do it. That's as perfect as a bunt that you're going to get. Push it up the line to kind of take away the play coming to the plate, and almost evaded the tag, but great job by Current getting that down and giving the Lightning the lead again.
Here's Trey Mason. Mason put up a really good at-bat in his last plate appearance. Fell behind 0-2, fouled off a pitch, and then just drove a ball the other way for a hard-hit single. Ended up scoring.
Also made that heroic catch
Yeah.
just a half inning ago.
I mean, one of the better catches you will see all season long. And not only that, but it kept the game tied, and now Goldey-Beacom's back out in front.
Not sure that was dropping. I think I said that's dropping in the actual broadcast.
He gets down the bunt once again, right back to the pitcher. Cortez fires to first. That's back-to-back sacrifices for Goldey-Beacom, electing to go the small ball route. And we're back up to the top of the lineup with 2 away and a runner on third.
Puts the runner on third base for Barmer in the top of the lineup, trying to drive this run home. Again, the cushion has been kind of our go-to phrase here. Again, the highest margin of victory we've seen is 2 runs.
Yeah, these games have been nothing short of fantastic. I mean, it's funny because maybe the closest game of them all is the one that was a 2-run difference. It was a walk-off by this very man, Caden Barmer, yesterday. Barmer today, he's 0 for 3. Did reach on an E1 in his last plate appearance, but otherwise a couple of strikeouts. And in the first 3 innings of this game, Xavier Cortez had 6 strikeouts. He has not had one since.
Yeah, so you slowed down that department mightily.
I don't know if it's a fatigue thing or if it's something that Goldey-Beacom is adjusting to, but either way, the Lightning aren't complaining about it. As the clouds start to get gray here in Waterbury, it does feel like rain is looming. So, both these teams want to try to score runs as soon as possible.
Yeah, weather is saying that we might get a little bit of spell here between now and 3. Nothing substantial, but we could see a bulk of it coming.
I mean, it was just picturesque.
Yeah.
Only an hour ago, and now it looks like a pretty bleak day outside. But either way, we got playoff baseball here in a big moment. The 3-1. Good take that time from Caden Barmer on a pretty nasty-looking breaking ball out of the hands of Xavier Cortez, but it goes down as another walk. Third walk given up by the Wilmington starter today.
92 pitches, so he probably has 4 more innings in him.
That's exactly what you needed to if you're Goldey-Beacom out of your leadoff hitter right there, because you play the sacrifice game and back-to-back at-bats. You give up 2 outs. You really just want to extend the inning, and Barmer does a tremendous job of that. Now you got Bobby Stewart at the plate, one of the hottest hitters in all of Division II right now. He's 1 for 3 today, but he has been robbed of a 3 for 3 day. Checked his swings at the first base umpire, and it's going to go down as 1-0.
Yeah, one on the button in the 5th, just right at the second baseman, Perung.
Perung, for that matter, robbed him of a base hit back in the 1st on a great backhanded play up the middle. Barmer looked like he was going to take off, but once again held up. And it's a big wave and a miss for Skinner. It's going to go down as 1-1. Notice that a couple of times. I'm not sure if it's guys kind of deciding at the last moment not to swipe or if that's just the way they take their secondaries, but it's a running secondary lead if that's the case.
Yeah, that's how Stewart got his in the couple innings ago. Literally, it was like a hop and then just started running before the pitch was even thrown. And he needed that because he was almost out at third base, but
now it's a normal secondary that time around, so maybe Barmer was thinking about it and just kind of decided at the last moment not to take off. Either way, big pitch when deciding the outcome of this game right here. It's a 1-2 count to Bobby Stewart. Runners on first and third with 2 men gone and a 1-run game in the 6th. From the stretch, the pitch, runner goes. Breaking ball left upstairs, no throw down to second base. Called a stolen base for Caden Barmer.
Yeah, between him kind of stopping and starting on his own volition and then Stewart's steal, it kind of thinks that Goldey-Beacom has given a couple of guys the autonomy to go if you'd like.
100%.
That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier.
2-2. Line drive through the right side of the infield. It's another base hit for Stewart. 2 runs should come home and score as the throw is offline. Stewart now is going to take off for second base. Here's the throw at the bag, and he's in there. Call it a 2 RBI single for Bobby Stewart, and it's back to a 3-run game, 7-4 Lightning.
Makes that stolen base a whole lot more important because that is a runner on third base, if not for being on second base before the pitch, and just got right through the right side. And some great speed on the base pass produced 2 runs, 2 huge runs. Again, another 3 spot for the Lightning.
Another tremendous game, this time in the semifinals of the CACC tournament. And who else but Bobby Stewart, who has hit the ball hard all 4 times he has come up to the plate today to give Goldey-Beacom a little bit of extra insurance. We're going to have a pitching change here in Waterbury, so don't go anywhere. It's 7-4 Lightning. New pitcher stepping up to the mound for Wilmington. It's the 6'2", 190-pound right-handed freshman out of Ronkonkoma, New York, and transferred in from St. John's University. It's Ryan Keendle trying to get his team out of a jam here.
3.12 ERA, just 8 2/3 innings, so definitely the least experience, at least this season, that we've seen throughout the entire tournament. But in his innings, it's looked well. 3.12 ERA, 2-0 record, 9 strikeouts, just 1 home run given up, 1 walk given up. So has the talent, just hasn't really got the sample size. But here we go.
Transferred in from a D1 university, has some very good numbers, as you just mentioned, and it's a big spot. Runner on second, 2 outs. Trying to keep the deficit at 3 for Wilmington, and he's going up against the 3-hole hitter, Jamie Neris Jr. Neris 0 for 2. Did work a walk in his last plate appearance, but 2 strikeouts otherwise.
Another one of those two-way players. He has some hitting stats as well, Keendle does.
Yeah, 48 at-bats, a 271 average. Again, as a freshman, really impressive stuff, and really impressive to earn your coach's trust in a postseason game like this. He needs you to be the stopper right here, does Brian August. He called on your number. Let's see if the freshman can come through.
Mostly 1 inning or even just 1 out, 2 out.
Oh, he might have done it right there. Oh, it gets under the glove of the shortstop, Garrett Quinn, into left field. Rounding third and coming home to score easily is Bobby Stewart. And it's a 4-run lead, 8-4.
That was a wicked hop that ate him up. It looked like it was coming chest level, and then I don't know if it grabbed, just hit something and didn't bounce up the way it was, but looked like it went right through his hip. And just a tough play.
And does go down as a single, and I think that's the right call because of how funky that hop was, so to speak. And so Jamie Neris Jr. grabs his first base hit of the game, collects an RBI while doing so, extends the Goldey-Beacom lead. And we can close the book on the starter Xavier Cortez as well, but we'll do that in just a moment. As Roman Keith is up to the plate, takes ball 2 off the outside corner.
Yeah, Geendl did throw an inning and a third against Bridgeport in their closeout game against them. Gave up a couple of hits. Struck out a batter as well.
1-0 offering. Breaking ball. Ooh, good-looking pitch. Curveball just dots the outside corner. Evens the count at 1-1. Keith, he's 0 for 2 today, but has a walk, a run scored, and an RBI on a ground out. So he's been productive despite not having a base hit. Quick check on the runner on first, then Neris Jr. And now the 1-1. High fly ball, very shallow right field. It's actually going to be the second baseman, Perring, who ranges back and comes down with it for the final out of the inning, but damage done. Only a half inning ago, Wilmington tied this game up. Goldey-Beacom gets 4 runs right back, and they take an 8-4 lead. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and Wilmington now trying to make their way back for the second time in this one. Once again, trailing by 4 runs. Well, actually, this is their largest deficit of the game so far. Be the bottom 3 in the order. The 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters coming up to the plate. Zach Frame to lead the Wildcats off, and it's the starter, Corey Williams, still in there for Goldey-Beacom.
Yeah, big credit to the offense for Goldey-Beacom. We said it a couple times. You've seen the offenses go up and then just kind of mellow out, but they've scored in half of their innings that they have offensively, and in 2 of those innings they've put up 3 and a 4 spot. Help from the defense of Wilmington, but those are runs nevertheless that have scored, and you can't take that away.
0-1 is left upstairs to even the count up at 1-1. And again, it just shows how well coached these 2 teams are, in my opinion, because there's a flow to baseball, there's momentum swings, and the momentum was certainly on Wilmington's side for the last couple of innings heading into that last half frame, but Goldey-Beacom did a great job of snatching it right back. It's going to be a 1-2 count. You could tell that Zach Frame didn't really love that last call. He's 0 for 1 on the day, worked a walk and flied out.
And, even though it's Wilmington errors, it's all about capturing opportunities and doing most with them, and that's exactly what Goldey-Beacom did.
Absolutely.
They were given opportunities.
And they took some opportunities away as well. You got to shout out Trey Mason in center field once again for some of his tremendous play. Two balls and 2 strikes. Misses way inside. And actually, Zach Frame says it hit him. Home plate umpire agrees. Leadoff man aboard for Wilmington. Only the 3rd free pass of the day, the first hit batsman.
Kind of looked back, it's like, hey, that hit me. He goes, okay. It kind of like he asked or just told the umpire, hey, I'm going to first base now.
Tends to be how it goes. You do see that at the major league level as well. Yeah. Sometimes hitters will just turn to the umpires and go, hey, that got me. And umpires will say, okay.
Sure.
Stephen Catch up to the plate. Second at-bat for him in this game after coming in place of Justin Hernandez. Hopefully Hernandez is all right. Pitch misses well upstairs, and the count goes to 1-0. Catch, he's 0 for 1.
Yeah, I think this is a good visit by Current. A couple of errant throws, and
Yeah.
Williams has been on the bench for a little bit while that offensive rally started. So, we see that time and time again after 20, 30 minutes not throwing. Kind of takes a second to get back into your groove. So I like this, the backstop going over there, talking with his pitcher, and just getting him back in rhythm.
It's funny, you hear stories about that, too, in Major League Baseball when players are having really good outings. Sometimes offensive players, if they have a big lead, will just strike out on purpose because they want to get their guy back out there as quick as possible. I mean, don't think you see that much anymore, but especially in like the early 2000s, you would always hear stories like that. 1-0 count, runner on first to Stephen Catch. Ooh, tough take just off the outside corner, and Catch is in a good spot here. 2 balls to no strikes.
Yeah, but definitely a better pitch than the errant ones inside to both of those hitters. So looks like he's kind of dialed back in. At least that pitch references it.
Catch coming into today, a .314 hitter through 31 appearances. Take strike 1. Only 11 starts for Catch this season, but was immediately the first call out of the dugout when needed for that left side of the infield. So, once again, another trusted at-bat for Brian August, and 31 appearances is nothing to sneeze at. Quick check on the runner and Zach Frame. Throughout 51 at-bats this year for Catch. Does have 5 extra base hits, 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 11 RBIs. They are really nervous about Zach Frame over on first base. He's 14 for 18 in stolen base attempts this year.
So rightfully so. 157 as a team swiped.
2-1. Hard ground ball to the left side, off the glove of the third baseman Williams, and off the body of the left fielder Keith. It goes all the way to the warning track. Rounding third is Frame. Here comes the throw from the cutoff man. No throw. Wow, called a single and then an E7 on Roman Keith that allows another run to score, and it's back to a 3-run game.
Yeah, that is brutal. Another bad hop on the infield. Can't really give much blame to Williams there, but Keith has to get in front of that ball. It just scoots by him, and he's running for a long time. That's a lonely feeling running for that ball, and running all the way home is Frame. He alluded to his speed. They were checking on him, trying to keep him close at first, and here he is on home plate and a run without an out.
4 errors in the game for Goldey-Beacom yet again.
It's been a sloppy game defensively for both sides, tell you that.
6 combined in this one. Huge hack and a miss that time from Garrett Quinn. The bare-handed bandit, and he goes to 0-2, one of many players we've seen with no batting gloves throughout this tournament.
How often do you see that?
Really
I think we
not
mentioned it was a team thing until we found it wasn't a team thing.
That's what we thought.
Yeah, but you have 7 guys just without batting gloves.
Seemed that way. Good take and a 2-strike count there. Now 1-2. Boy, it is the details when it comes down to baseball, and that has proven to be the case today. It's the little mistakes that come back to haunt you. A good job by Garrett Quinn from 0-2 to 2-2 now. It's another unearned run on Corey Williams' line as well.
Yeah.
All 5 of them today have been unearned.
5 unearned, 2 unearned on the other side.
High chopper to the right side. This should be the first out of the inning, and it is as it goes 3 unassisted. Boy, a long inning so far. Feels like Williams has maybe slowed down in between pitches, but also we've seen some good battles at the plate with Frame, Catch, and Quinn right there as well. Yes. Back to the top of the order.
7 total unearned runs here today, and Williams, again, focusing a lot on the runners on base, so that slows them down a little bit. Sitting at just under 90 pitches right now. Again, pitch count a myth in this tournament, but just something to keep an eye on as well.
Hey, we've already seen our first pitching change in this one. On the other side, there's a chopper that goes foul off the bat of D'Angelo Ponce. Again, feels early comparatively, but very reasonable pitching change coming up if Tom Riley decides to take out Corey Williams. I almost said Brian August there.
I'm sure he'd like to take him out of the game.
Yeah,
I'm
true
sure.
that.
If he could do it, he would.
0-1 pitch, taken down low. Catcher wants an appeal, and same ruling.
Yeah, it's definitely an odd way to look at it because you got the 5 runs, but none of them being earned, so you can't really put that on. 7 hits, a couple of them have been hard hit, but really for the most part, they've been singles on the infield that just have bad hops.
Or little bloop singles as well.
Right. Doesn't have the strikeout stuff going, but does have a couple walks, so 90 pitches, you're kind of playing on vibes here with Williams, who hasn't looked terrible, but the results haven't been there, and again, that's baseball.
Only 2 extra base hits given up today for Williams.
And they came back-to-back against probably the 2 best hitters in this lineup, so
Exactly,
you can't fault them. And that was the inning he should have already got out of with the error preceding those.
And he hasn't given up an earned run to the number 1 offense in the conference this year. 2-2. Ground ball to the left side and through into left field for another base hit and another run coming home to score. They're going for extra bases, and Ponce will get there sliding. It's a 1-out RBI double for the leadoff man, and it's now 8-6. And that will be the first earned run of this game on Corey Williams' line.
And that one just snuck down the left field line right over the third base bag.
And again, not particularly hard hit, but just well located from D'Angelo Ponce. Brent Williams gave it a good effort there at third base, trying to make the diving stop, but just came up a tad short. Now it looks like we're going to have our mound visit here, and I believe it's going to be a pitching change, but we're going to wait for confirmation.
Yeah, we've speculated that a couple of times and have been wrong, so we'll wait for that to be official.
Whole infield coming in. It does look like there's at least an arm getting loose in the right field bullpen of Goldey-Beacom. Of course, remember, after this game, the loser of this one, which we are far away from that still, will have to play an elimination game against Felician University, and that game went pretty late last night. Felician ended up coming back from a 5-run deficit against Jefferson to stave off elimination. They ended up almost coming back against Wilmington in Game 1 as well, so they're a team you could never really count out.
Right, a team I don't want to face until I have to.
Yeah, seriously.
And hope the other team knocks them out for me.
2 runs home in the inning. 1 gone, a runner on second base. Brings up the player of the year, Tyler Perrin. Having a tremendous day, 2 for 2 with a walk and a couple of singles, and that pitch gets away from the catcher, Current. Walking into third base is D'Angelo Ponce on the wild pitch. And another run only 90 feet away from scoring. A fly ball does the job right now for Tyler Perrin.
Just yanked it. That's all you can say there. Just yanked it. Looked at his hand. I think that's more just the thing to do, just the reactionary thing to do, but just yanked it. Really nothing more to that than that.
Perrin already extended his hitting streak to 8 games, and he chops one back up the middle. Going to be a tough play for the second baseman, Stewart. The throw across the body in time. What a fine play by Bobby Stewart over at second base. Meanwhile, a run does come home and score, but still, you got to feel great if you're Bobby Stewart there.
Yeah, that's a tremendous play, but Wilmington will take it. They come within 1 run of tying this game right back up, and a pretty sore 4 that Wilmington allowed Goldey-Beacom to have, and all of a sudden a pretty sore 3 that Goldey-Beacom was given right back. Again, a roller coaster here in the middle innings.
10 combined runs in the last 2 innings of baseball, really in the last inning and 2/3 of baseball. Doesn't get much easier if you're Corey Williams on the mound. It's a 2-1 count. It's an 0-1 count, to Klump. That pitch misses down low, so now 1-1. Klump today, he's 0 for 2. Reached once on an error, but otherwise a flyout, and he sacrificed a bunt down. The 1-1. Big wave and a miss. Corey Williams has a chance to get out of this inning once again with the lead for Goldey-Beacom, albeit only a one-run lead. I'll tell you what, you don't want to face Chase Fleming on deck. The 1-2. In there for a called strike 3, and Corey Williams does get out of the inning with the lead. Overall in the frame, it's 3 runs scored for Wilmington on 2 base hits, 1 error, and that was a pretty costly one, with nobody left on base. It's 8-7, Goldey-Beacom heading to the 7th. No kidding. We move to the final third of this ball game, if you can even call it that, because we might have plenty more baseball to go with the way this one has gone. It's 8-7 in favor of the visiting Goldey-Beacom Lightning, and they're looking to add on to their lead. Zach Smethers will lead them off here in the top of the 7th. Still Ryan Keendle out on the mound. His first pitch in. Ooh, called a ball. Looked pretty good from up here, but it goes to 1-0 nevertheless. 8 batters came around in the last half frame for Goldey-Beacom. Ended up scoring 4 runs on 4 hits. Looking to follow that up once again, but not off to the greatest start. Slow chopper over to the left side, and Stephen Catch fires to first easily for the first out.
Good pitch here by Keendle. Again, hasn't gone too terribly deep in his career. Most of his outings have just been an inning, maybe an inning in the third. A good handful of them have only been a third of an inning or 2/3 of an inning. So we'll see how much in the tank he has and how long the leash is. We do have some double barrel action going on in the bullpen for Wilmington as well. So we'll see what the leash looks like.
First pitch misses outside to Williams, who you have to pitch carefully. He has had a fantastic game today at the plate. But this time he skies it high in the air. Wow, fairly deep to center field. It brought Camtrego just in front of the warning track, but ends up making the catch. Louder contact than seemed off the bat, but either way, it's just a loud out number 2.
Again, those quick outs are going to be a way to keep yourself in this game longer.
Absolutely. And before we lose the opportunity, we'll give you the final line for starter Xavier Cortez today. Went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits and 8 runs, but only 6 of them were earned. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts, and right now he's in line for the loss. First pitch into Sean Roy found the strike zone. Roy 2 for 3, couple of RBIs and a run scored on a couple of singles for him. As I believe we have an errant bullpen ball out in right field, so quick stoppage. Righty on lefty matchup, nobody on, 2 men gone. High chopper. This should be a quick inning for Keendle out in the mound. Throw from second base in time. That is a very efficient 1, 2, 3 inning for Ryan Keendle and the Wilmington Wildcats, fresh off a 3-run inning themselves, looking to continue and erase that 1-run deficit. To the bottom of the 7th we go, and we have a new man stepping up to the mound for Goldey-Beacom. It's the 5'11", 180-pound right-hander out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, as Nate Miller is back on the bump after appearing in yesterday's game.
Got the win on a third of an innings pitched, 8 pitches. So like we mentioned, going kind of through who's available for both of these teams, we mentioned that he's probably good to go. It usually has a starter's workload, has picked up a couple of starts throughout his campaign this year, and has thrown 35 2/3 innings. So again, with 8 pitches here, probably your third or fourth starter, he's ready to go.
Miller picked up, as you mentioned, his 5th win of the season yesterday. He's now got a 6.56 ERA and a 1.91 WHIP. But here's a high drive into deep left center field off the bat of Chase Fleming. And boy, it's going to hang up there just long enough, right in front of the wall for Trey Mason. That's a very loud out, number 1. Chase Fleming was that close to getting his 2nd extra base hit and 4th base hit of this game.
Yeah, it would have been a not too far away from a cycle had that have dropped. Drago actually had first cycle for Wilmington in their history, at least as an NCAA institution.
First pitch in there to Brett Walmsley. Walmsley 1 for 3, double and an RBI back in the 3rd. Tough take and a really good pitch on the outside corner. Credit Joey Current for possibly stealing a strike there behind the plate. Now Walmsley will have to protect 0-2. Try to go back to that same spot. Did Nate Miller, but it didn't work out. Ball and 2 strikes. Can give you the final line on Goldey-Beacom starter Corey Williams today. What a strange line it is. 6 innings of work, 8 hits, 7 runs, but only 2 of them were earned. 2 walks to 3 strikeouts for the tall right-hander.
And doing some math here, I think this is only the 2nd or 3rd time a pitcher has come into the game and start an inning.
Yeah, true that. We've mostly seen mid-inning pitching changes. 2-2. Wow, another really tough take from Brett Walmsley, and it's 3-2. Part of that is him being a catcher. He has great awareness of the strike zone. Also, he's been behind the plate this whole game, so he knows the umpire. But, boy, wasn't that bad. From 0-2 down to 3-2 here. Payoff pitch. Fouled off, and we'll do it again. After a very quick first out, albeit a loud out, but a quick out for Chase Fleming.
The wind really picking up now. You see the trees out there swaying. It looks like out of a Jurassic Park movie.
The second payoff gets fouled off yet again. We'll do it a 3rd time. This will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat coming up between Nate Miller and Brett Walmsley. 1-run game, bottom of the 7th. Nobody on, 1 man gone. That pitch is taken inside for ball 4. What an at-bat.
Huge. That's big. That is just a quality plate appearance here for Walmsley.
9 pitches, ends up working the walk out of it. It's not quite the leadoff walk, but almost as good. As this lineup is so dangerous. Anytime you can get a man aboard, it feels like it's a threat. And Cam Trago's about to step up to the plate, but once again, Brian August calling a timeout here, wants to have a word with his hitter for a pretty big at-bat in this one. Trago, he's had a rough day. He's 0 for 3. Strikeout, try to bunt for a hit, and then flied out.
He had a cycle on March 31st against Holy Family, the first cycle in the school's NCAA history. So we've obviously talked about his stats. We've seen that single-game performance mentioned, and we know what he's capable of doing. Has been kept at bay for pretty much the entirety of his series that we've seen him in these last 2 days. So kind of due.
Yeah, if you believe in due, this is the guy right here. First pitch. Line drive into right field. It's just foul, maybe 5 feet off that right field foul line. It's a loud strike one.
He had a swing like that in the first game. They hit a mile foul, but that was a loud swing there. He had the other one earlier. And
I know if you're Nate Miller on the mound, you don't like the looks of that swing. 0-1. Ooh, way late on a fastball that time around. It goes to 0-2. And, hey, despite that, you got him out in front on a breaking ball on the first pitch. You got him late on a fastball on the second pitch. You just have him off balance here.
yeah, it kind of opens up everything here, and it's a good challenge pitch by Miller. See if he does it again.
Moment deserves a little more anticipation. One gone. It's Zach Frame on deck. And the bottom four hitters of this lineup are combined 1 for, and I believe it's 1 for 10. Ground ball up the middle, past the backhanded try of the second baseman Stewart into center field for a base hit. Nicely done by Cam Trago, and it seems those words of wisdom from Brian August before the at-bat seem to have worked out. Good piece of two-strike hitting there from the center fielder.
That's why it's so vital to knock those starters out. We've seen so many talented starting pitchers, but now as we go throughout the tournament, kind of get that second, third starter going, and in some instances they're as good as the aces, and sometimes they're not. And Miller, who's a third, fourth starter here, you can see the offense kind of getting to him, and it just brings on the talented hitters and makes them shine better and late in these games.
Runners on first and second with one man gone. And the first pitch comes in to Zach Frame on the outside corner, 0-1. Wilmington has been knocking on the door for the last couple of innings. Goldey-Beacom has been able to stay out in front. But can Wilmington finally break through here in the seventh? 0-1 misses outside. Not the most speed, but good speed for a catcher over on second base in Brett Walmsley, so a base hit should score him relatively easily and tie up this game. Good stop behind the plate by Joey Current. Keep the ball in front of him, 2-1. Frame manning right field today. Went 1 for 4 in game one. Still looking for his first hit in this one. He might have just gotten it there. It's a high drive deep into center field, but nope, it's going to hang up long enough as Trey Mason makes the catch. Tagging up from second base is Walmsley, and he'll get into third without a throw. So called a fly out for out number 2, but the tying run only 90 feet away for Wilmington. It's going to be up to Steven Catch to try to get it home.
Good piece of hitting, got it down to deep center field. We've seen the ball travel a little more than expected out there, and that one hung up and was kind of one of the lazier hits we've seen out in that direction, but does move the runner up, and now corners in a threatening position for Wilmington to try to tie this ball game up.
We have seen some very quick workers out on the mound so far in this tournament. Nate Miller is not one of those.
No.
Only 17 pitches into this inning, but feels like it's been a really long inning out there. Has had a couple of men aboard, but still not been able to scratch across the run yet is Wilmington. This is a huge spot here. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Steven Catch. Catch knocked a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2. First pitch taken on the outside corner. That has been called a strike all day long, especially to righties. It's a good pitch to twirl for your first one there in this at-bat.
Pitching backwards as well to a hitter that's kind of been jettisoned into this game. It's his third at-bat, but kind of try to get him off a rhythm as well.
Ground ball, high chopper to the left side. Third baseman Williams fires across the diamond in time, and Nate Miller gets himself into and out of trouble in the 7th. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 men left stranded. It's still a 1-run game on the CACC network. Wilmington back out in the field. Goldey-Beacom back up to bat as we enter this top half of the 8th inning. Final 6 outs for each side. Goldey-Beacom really looking to add on because feels like no lead is safe over the course of these couple of days, especially not a 1-run lead. So we'll see if they can do that. Still working against Ryan Kendall, now going into his second full inning of work, 3rd inning total. First pitch into Joey Current, gets fouled off the foot. Goes to 0-1. Current came through with the sac bunt RBI last time around, but otherwise he's 0 for 2.
Yeah, try to get the ball in play. We've seen already 6 combined errors, so get the ball in play and see what happens.
Oh, there's a high drive deep into left field, but looked like he just got a little under it, did Current, and Klump gets under that baseball for the first out of this inning.
Yeah, we've seen balls go to die in left field. We've seen one home run that way, which was an absolute rocket, which I don't think a single ballpark in America would have held. But that one seemed real good off the bat, and then it ended up well shy. You see how the wind's kind of been going back and forth, more towards left field we thought, but now I think it's kind of shifting back more towards right again.
So Trey Mason steps in, takes ball 1. He's 1 for 2. Part of the back-to-back sacrifice bunts back in the 6th inning where 8 players came around to bat for Goldey-Beacom. He pops this one up, foul and out of play. Mason went 2 for 6 in the first round against Holy Family. As he hits another foul ball here, and it'll go to 1-2. Went 0 for 3 in their round 2 game. He takes a big wave and a miss. And a good-looking breaking ball there from Ryan Kendall. His first strikeout of the game, and it's out number 2 in the 8th.
Yeah, definitely keeping the bottom of the order off the base pass as you go into the top of the order is key for Kendall, who's working, I believe now, officially kind of his longest stint out there, at least approaching so. Again, 1 in, I believe, 2/3 is the highest I've seen him.
That was just his officially now gone through 2 innings of work today.
So, yeah, he's officially crossed that 2-inning threshold. Clearly talented. He went D1 straight out of high school and has come to Wilmington.
So back to the top of the order, and immediately a 2-strike count for Caden Barmer. And Kendall is one of those quick workers, as opposed to Nate Miller.
Appreciated.
The 0-2. Wave and a miss for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to end in 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Kendall, who is now retired 7 in a row for Wilmington. Still a 1-run game heading to the bottom of the 8th on the CACC network. Bottom of 8, 9, 1 and 2 hitters due up for Wilmington. Still trailing by a run, and it's still Nate Miller out on the mound for Goldey-Beacom going into his second inning of work. Ran into some trouble on a walk and a single only a frame ago, but ended up getting out of it without allowing a run. See if he can follow it up here. First pitch, And a huge swing and a miss. I felt the breeze from up here in the press box by Garrett Quinn. It goes to 0-1.
Yeah, trying to go band for band with Keendle, who has thrown up 2 donuts against the Goldey-Beacom offense, and you need it.
0-1 pitch gets fouled away, and it goes to 0-2 now on the 9-hole hitter. Quinn started the day as the third baseman, but has moved over to shortstop. That was after Hernandez got taken out of the game. Now the 0-2. Check swing on a pitch into dirt. Home plate umpire says he went around. Catcher Current not able to lay the tag down, so he throws down to first. That'll be the first strikeout of the game for Nate Miller, and out number 1 in the 8th.
A little late on the call. I think Quinn checked up and held up and kind of was coming back to reset when the umpire called the swing and kind of put Quinn at a disadvantage there. I wouldn't be surprised if Wilmington's a little upset with that.
Usually you see the appeal down to the first base side as well, but didn't happen there on the third strike. So back to the top of the order, and Ponce fouls off the first pitch he sees. Ponce, 1 for 3. Reached once on an error, the other on an RBI double. He scored both times he reached the base paths.
That's a sounding alarm. I see Borgman starting to get warmed up over there.
Uh-oh.
Again, I think we talked about the strategy. He won't be used in this game regardless unless it's like do or die, but you still have him for tonight if you need him.
Hey,
went 55 pitches.
There's a reason Brian August is there for his 22nd year and we're not, but interesting move for sure as D'Angelo Ponce gets aboard via the single, his second straight base hit.
And not quite throwing yet, but he's moving around, picking up the glove,
and look,
doing his stretches.
If I had the conference pitcher of the year in my bullpen, I'd want to use him as often as possible, too. I get it.
And that was my favorite thing, I think, coming in this tournament, doing the stats. Again, we didn't really get to see a lot of these teams. I think either of us didn't really get to see any of these teams coming in and kind of learning from them on the spreadsheet before learning about them on the field and seeing the weapon that Borgman was and how they can use him. It really did get me giddy. I was very excited to see how they're going to use a piece like that in the bullpen in this situation, in this environment.
Tyler Perring just rips his third base hit of the day. Another 3-hit performance for Perring. The throw-in does get away from the second baseman, but no harm, no foul there. So the conference player of the year doing what he does best, and that's just getting a couple of base hits. And now Brian Klump will come up in a big spot. And we've already seen Brian Klump lay down a sacrifice bunt today with 2 on and 1 out. Wouldn't be shocked to see it again.
Did have a couple doubles in game 1, so see as he's rocking in 0 for 3.
Exactly. Did reach on an error otherwise. Righty on lefty matchup. First pitch, well inside. Klump has to get out of the way of it. 1 and out. Klump with his last opportunity to extend a 15-game hitting streak. Pretty impressive stuff for him. Planned pickoff move over to second base, but to no avail. Certainly got to keep an eye on both of these runners. It's a speedy 1-2 in your lineup between Ponce and Perring. The 1-0. Fouled off, evens it up, 1 and 1. On the year, Klump has 30 RBIs, 10 extra base hits, 6 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. And a good record here at Municipal Stadium. Both the runners take off. They got him picked off the throw, and they rule him safe. Oh, it looked like D'Angelo Ponce was going to go for third. He was 2 or 3 steps in the opposite direction by the time the pitcher turned around. The throw got there, and maybe it was just a great slide by Ponce.
Yeah, it could be. Roy had to kind of go back to the tag, which is the right play. That's the quickest way. It might have been he just didn't locate the hands, but it looked close. I think both of us think he's probably out, at least from our vantage point.
The throw got there.
The only thing I can think of is he might have not
Right.
put the tag down because he was away from the play and only saw it as it was getting there. That's the only thing I can really think of.
Either way, could have been a mistake. Ends up being no harm, no foul for Wilmington and Ponce. Now the 2-1. Well, why not try another pickoff move over there? Kind of gave away their hand a little bit, did Wilmington. Expect the double steal at some point. Pitch well off the outside corner, and it goes to 3 balls and a strike. We did see maybe the first pitch out I've seen live ever yesterday. So, I mean, not obviously in a 3-1 count, but it wouldn't have shocked me on that last pitch.
Holding on just a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Wilmington surging.
Ground ball back up the middle, off of Nate Miller, into the second baseman's hands. He gets the out at second. And the play too slow to turn to, but what a recovery by Bobby Stewart at second base. Hopefully Nate Miller is all right because it ricocheted off his leg. But Stewart stayed with it and was able to get the second out of the inning.
You know, the classic 1-4-6 fielder's choice that we all grew up loving and knowing. Saved it because I think that ball's through the middle of the infield. If not, a really tough play for probably Roy, going to be the closest one to get there. As I think they're asking for a check on that play at second base, but kind of it got Miller, but it's a good thing it got Miller because it could have been a lot more dangerous if it didn't.
And they are checking on Miller right now. This will not go down as a mound visit, which is why I think we saw head coach Tom Riley go out to the umpires first to confirm, like, hey, this is a medical checkup, not a mound visit.
Yep.
After he did get plunked in the leg. He's walking around. He seems to be okay, but you know that's got to sting.
Yeah, you got to check on your guy.
Also, just give him a breather here. Not a bad idea if you have the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely take it if you got it. And now their umpires will conference up and talk about the play. Again, seemed like, believe it was Perung who was going into second base, was very adamant. Like he did not have the bag. Roy did look like he was straddling it and could have been awry, kind of in our line of view. Perung slids, we couldn't see, and they're going to confirm the out. But obviously Wilmington, very convinced that wasn't an out. And what a big out that is.
Huge.
That now 2 outs. You have that runner at third still, but next out gets you out of the jam, and you got Fleming, Walmsley, Trago coming up.
What could have been a tie game is now a runner on first and third with 2 men gone. Umpires look up here to confirm that the ruling is the same. So the runner on third, that's Ponce. The runner on first is Klump, and the man at the plate, well, who else in a big spot? Chase Fleming, who has had a tremendous day batting-wise, just a tremendous tournament. First pitch in. Big wave and a miss, and it goes to 0-1. Fleming, he's 3 for 4. 2 singles, 2 RBIs, a 3-bagger, a run scored, and a stolen base just to put the cherry on top. Quick pickoff move to check on Klump on first to no avail. Klump, not really much of a threat, only 3 for 6 in stolen bases this year. One pitch misses off the outside corner. Wilmington down to their final 4 outs in this ball game, trailing by 1 with a spot in the conference championship on the line tomorrow. The 1-1. Runner takes off for second base. Going to be no throw down to the bag, so 2 in scoring position now for the Wildcats. Called a stolen base for Brian Klump, who's now 4 for 7.
Even with 2 strikes, Fleming's still so dangerous. Have to execute.
The 1-2. Stone cold take from Chase Fleming that time. Disciplined approach at the plate. Good looking pitch from Nate Miller. Breaking ball could have scraped the outside corner, but just dipped a bit below. From the stretch, the 2-2. Slider misses off the outside part of the plate, and the count runs full 3-2. You do have a base open to work with if you're Nate Miller, and you definitely want to be careful to chase Fleming, but 2 strikes, I don't think you're working around him per se.
No, but you're also not going to give him anything to hit.
Exactly, or at least you're not trying to.
Right. It still puts you into Walmsley, who might be even more dangerous, so it's not like it's really pick your poison here, but
the payoff, line drive, off the body of the shortstop, Sean Roy, into left field. 1 run scores. Touching home plate is Ponce, and Wilmington takes a 9-8 lead.
Tattooed to short, gets his body in front of it, but it still rides up the arm and into the outfield. A tough break.
What a turn of events here in the 8th inning. Who else but Chase Fleming, his 4th base hit of the day, his 4th RBI of the day, and this time it puts his team out in front with a spot in the championship on the line. Unbelievable.
Mickey Mantle never had a day like this. This kid's the greatest of all time. I've seen enough.
Doesn't get any easier for Nate Miller out in the mound. First pitch misses upstairs to Brett Walmsley, and it's 1-0.
Officially a single, which is the right call there. It just was absolutely scorched at Roy, but you got to feel bad for him. He has 2 errors on that one. I'm sure he everyone will tell you have to make that play. I'm sure he'd say the same.
That's a tough play.
It's a tough play, but you know how the athletes hits the glove, you got to get it, and that's just a tough day for Roy.
We don't have the TrackMan data or anything like that, but it was smoked off the bat. I wish we knew what the exit velocity was.
240. I did it for you. It was, scorched is an understatement.
And right now it looks like Brian August has some words for the home plate umpire here. Not sure what the argument would be about.
We did say earlier Borgman is warming up, and he's warming up now. So we'll see if he comes in for the 9th now in a save situation, if they ride with Keindl, who's been real good for them. But wow, Wilmington you give extra outs to this offense. This is 4 errors. Obviously, that last one not one, but you've given up at least a few. I mean, most of those runs have been unearned.
Man, Corey Williams' pitching line is still just one of the weirder ones you'll see. 7 runs, but only 2 of them earned in this game. Runner takes off, 1-1, soft liner into left field. It's going to find some grass for a base hit. Moving from first to third, and the ball gets by the left fielder. Going from first to home on the play is Chase Fleming, and it's now a 2-run Wilmington lead.
And that's the 5th, an error in left field, the 2nd from Roman Keith.
Call it a single and an error on Roman Keith. And, man, the wheels are falling off here for Goldey-Beacom. It feels like anything can happen in this tournament. They still got 3 more outs to play with offensively, but just a costly mistake there.
Yeah, and if you're Wilmington, you want to add another 1 or 2 to keep Borgman on the shelf potentially, and at least let someone else or Keindl keep going to try to avoid using him as much as possible. They're definitely looks like they're ready to use him if need be, but if you can save him and kind of get him fresh for tomorrow, but you still have to get to tomorrow. Still, with how this tournament has gone, there's not been a safe lead. There's not been a shut case until we have called the final strike, the final out.
It's a great point, and even Borgman yesterday had his struggles in his outing, the CACC Pitcher of the Year, so it's never a guarantee, especially here in this tournament. We haven't gotten a signal yet for a pitching change, so right now we're going to say that this is just a mound visit. Doesn't look like anyone's coming out of the bullpen, but there has been an arm warming up over there for quite some time. All of a sudden, a 10-8 game in favor of the number 1 seed, Wilmington Wildcats. At one point, trailed in this game 3-0, but kept on inching their way back. Credit to Goldey-Beacom the entire way because they kept on staying in the lead for most of this game. But, man, just the relentless offense of Wilmington finally coming through here in the 8th.
Crazy is too light of a word. They need to make a new word. a new synonym.
So Cam Trago's back up to the plate now. Ripped a single his last time out. That makes him 1 for 4. Runner on second base, 2 gone. First pitch misses outside. Trago, the senior out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania, at one point transferred in a couple of years ago from the University of Hartford. Skies one, shallow left center field. Actually going to be foul territory in left field, and no one's going to be able to make the play. Looked like it was Sean Roy, the shortstop, out there giving it his best effort. Maybe that was Brent Williams actually on third base, but just a tough play ranging backwards and would have had to make an over-the-shoulder basket catch.
Yeah, no, it was a good effort and definitely overran it a bit and then had to adjust. Again, we've talked about the wind being in play today.
Still Nate Miller out on the mound, but it's been a long inning for number 0. This is the 7th batter of the frame. The 1-1. Missed upstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
We have an elimination game shortly after this as well to close out our Friday and set up a big potential Saturday.
2-1 offering. Ooh, good sword there from Nate Miller. Check swing, and he definitely won a round. Goes to 2-2. Inning started off with a strikeout to Garrett Quinn, but 2 singles in a row, a fielder's choice. Chase Fleming brought home 2 with his single, and then there was the E7, the costly E7 that allowed it to be a 2-run lead.
And then you also have to think the out that they did get was a little controversial.
Yeah.
There was the question of whether the bag was actually held onto
True.
by Sean Roy. So, again, I think he did, but clearly Wilmington wanted to look at it again.
Huge pitch, the payoff. Misses upstairs. It's ball 4, and Trago works a walk as he reaches for the second time today. For Nate Miller, it's the second walk he has given up in this outing. And the inning continues for Wilmington. It's Zach Frame now coming to the plate. Frame 0 for 2, has walked and was plunked by a pitch. Looking to get another insurance run or a couple for Wilmington before the top of the 9th. Don't think he was in love with that most recent call, but either way, it goes as an 0-1. Pretty much the same exact spot there and the same result. Frame quickly behind 0-2, having to protect.
And they got to get out of this at bat with an out if you're Goldey-Beacom. Keep everything where it is. 2 runs is manageable. Again, Kendall is, if it's him, he's worked more than he has all year. The wheels could fall off. Borgman has looked a little bit human in his outing if he's the one to come out. So getting out of this with a 2-run lead, I think you're still got some work to do.
In this tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed. You would love to get another insurance run or 2 if you're a Wilmington fan, player, coach, whatever. But you got to protect here. It's the 0-2. Miller decides to wait a little longer. Build up some of the anticipation. Stephen Catch on deck. Should Frame find a way to get on. Runner on second, that's Walmsley. Runner on first is Trago. Once again, the 0-2. Good take that time from Frame, 1-2.
Yeah, it's a good spot to miss kind of that darting down, whether that's the fastball, the changeup. Can just trying to get something down and change the eye level.
A ball and 2 strikes from the stretch. Miller deals it. Misses outside, 2-2. And This has been a recurring theme for Wilmington, falling behind in the count, but not striking out necessarily, oftentimes working their way back in the count as well.
4 Ks to 4 walks total as a team. We talked about how even those numbers were as a team for the whole season, and they continue to hold true in this one.
Another 2-2. Soft blooper, left center field. Going to be a tough play, but a nice read by the left fielder, Roman Keith. We've seen left field be so much trouble for all of these outfielders throughout this tournament. Keith stays with it, but the damage is done. Wilmington takes a 10-8 lead into the 9th on 3 runs in the 8th. We move to the top of the 9th and the final 3 outs potentially for Goldey-Beacom College here in Waterbury. But we got a couple of changes out in the field. First, we have a new pitcher stepping up to the mound, someone we've seen a lot of so far in this tournament. It's the 5'11", 170-pound junior right-hander out of Newcastle, Delaware, Garrett Quinn, stepping up to the mound. And he so far this year will make his 16th appearance of the season, a 2.70 ERA, and he's looking for his 6th save of the season. Of course, going into shortstop to replace him, that's going to be Ben Cordry as a defensive replacement. We'll see if he needs to get used at the plate at all. But it'll be the heart of the order here, starting with Bobby Stewart stepping up to the plate against Garrett Quinn, trying to make up a 2-run deficit for Goldey-Beacom, the first time they have trailed all day.
He comes submarine style to the plate. And like you said, 2.7 ERA, 35 strikeouts.
Not often at this level you see a sidearm submariner, and Garrett Quinn seems to locate it pretty well there.
This is the coolest thing of all time.
Certainly fun to watch. Now to 0-2 count. Tough take that time.
It's such a different look, and it's so hard to pitch, especially when you're so used to coming over the top or 3/4 or whatever, even a sidearm here or there, but this.
Oh, I thought that the home plate umpire was going to ring up Stewart there. That was a nasty front door slider that almost inched its way back on the inside quarter. That made me verbally gasp at how good that pitch was. See if he throws it again here, the 2-2. Now went with the fastball, but just yanked it, and now it's full 3-2.
But 2-3-4 here when in do or die time, exactly who you need for the Lightning.
Payoff pitch, slow grounder to the left side. Fielded by Catch, turn around, throw. In time, 1 away. Of course, we got a spot on the spot in the championship on the line in this game. The winner of this one will not have to play again until tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, the loser of this one will take on Felician in a win or go home game. So the first play goes 5-3 after a pretty good battle between Stewart and Quinn on the mound. Now Jamie Neris steps up to the plate. Neris 1 for 3. An RBI single, a couple of strikeouts, and a walk. It's the part of the order you wanted if you're Goldey-Beacom. Takes a big hack at the first pitch, swings right over the top of it, and it goes to 0-1. Neris 10th in the conference in slugging percentage at .630, 10th in the conference in OPS at 1.087. Swinging out of his shoes in this at-bat, and it goes to 0-2. I mean, it is a long, powerful swing for Jamie Neris.
He puts it all in there. And we've seen how quick that bat head gets through the zone. And if he taps it, it's a noticeable contact.
Quinn set on the mound, the 0-2. Good job by Neris just to get a piece of that one and stay alive. Remains 0-2.
They have some swing and miss, but you also have some contact on pitch he has no business getting to.
Yeah, he was way out in front of that. It was off the outside corner, and he still found a way to just get the end of the bat on it. So once again, the 0-2. In there for a called strike 3. What a pitch to follow up the slider off the outside part of the plate with a fastball on the outside corner. First strikeout of the game for Quinn. And Wilmington is 1 out away from going back to the CACC championship.
Yeah, it could be just the arm angle, or it had some two-seam to it. It looked like it came back a little bit. It could have just been straightening out from where it came from, or, again, has some action arm side.
Roman Keith, the last hope here for Goldey-Beacom. Takes ball 1 off the outside corner. Keith in this game, he's hitless, but he does have an RBI and a walk as part of an 0 for 3. And he takes one right square in the back that time. You heard that from all the way up here. It looked like it was a breaking ball that just slipped out of the hand, but still always stings. But it does bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Zach Smethers.
And we've seen, especially Goldey-Beacom late, have some magic in them. We've seen everybody have some magic late. Wilmington was the one who drew it up in the 8th.
First pitch into Smethers. Misses off the outside corner. 1-0. Smethers 1 for 4. 3 groundouts and 1 single. That came back in the second. Later came around to score. The 1-0. Ooh, same pitch, but this time ruled a strike. It goes to 1-1. Quinn is just straddling that outside corner right now, continuing to attack that spot against righties. The 1-1 went back over there, and just like that, Goldey-Beacom down to their last strike. The defending CACC Conference champions trying to get back there. Dugout and fans making some noise. The 1-2. Well off the outside edge. Runner on first, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Soft blooper, shallow right field, ranging in is Zach Frame. He makes the catch, and Wilmington is going back to the CACC championship.
Can't give extra outs to the best offense in the conference and one of the best offenses in the country. 5 errors by Goldey-Beacom. It did not plague them last night, but it does here on semifinal Friday. And now they have a date with maybe the hottest team that's not named Wilmington in Felician, who have won, I think, 14 of their last 17 games, something like that?
Something absurd like that. It's going to be a really fun game, too. In an elimination game between Felician University and Goldey-Beacom College. But right now, it's the Wilmington Wildcats, the number 1 seed in the tournament, who at one point in this game trailed by 3 runs, coming all the way back to take a 10-8 lead. Cody, anything stand out to you before we get down to the field and do our post-game interviews?
Hey, you showed you could battle back. They were down by a substantial amount at one point in the middle of the game. You're able to come back. You know how good this offense is, and you kind of kept everything at bay pitching-wise. Again, Quinn threw 17, but I'm sure he'll be good to go tomorrow if need be. You don't have to use Borgman, who had 55 pitches yesterday and now should be kind of ready to go. And you kind of have all your your deck stacked the kind of the way you want it here. So not only do you get there, you do what you need to do as the 1 seed, but you're in a favorable position wherever Saturday throws your way.
So Wilmington will advance right back into the CACC Conference Championship, looking to defend their title for the second year in a row. And we will be right back here on the CACC Network. We're going down to the field to find some players for some post-game interviews, so don't go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to the CACC Tournament Semifinals, and I'm here with one of the stars of the game today, Chase Fleming. And Chase, where to start with this past weekend? Yesterday, tossing 6 2/3, 3-run ball. Today, picking up 4 base hits, a whole lot of RBIs. Just walk us through how good this win felt for you guys as a team and then personally for you.
Personally, I was seeing a beach ball today, so I was just locked in. I'm trying to do my best to get the team to win. And yesterday, having a good outing, I just was trying to get my body right, mentally prepare for today. We knew it was going to be a tough one. It was a dogfight, but our team, we're built, so we'd like to come out and compete. So.
And you've done this all year on both sides, both on the mound and in the batter's box. But for us new viewers here who haven't gotten the chance to speak to you, how hard is it for you to transition from pitching to hitting, especially after a long outing yesterday?
It's tough. I'm real sore today. I'm playing through a pulled hamstring right now, so I'm battling through that. It's tough on the body. My arms are killing me today. My back's sore, but I like to battle it through with my guys and their family. So I like to give it my all every day.
Let's talk about just the loaded offense that you guys had today. Despite falling behind 3 runs, it wasn't very long before you guys were inching your way back. It didn't seem like hope was given up at any point in that dugout. I mean, did you guys always have faith, confidence that you were always going to make it back?
Yeah, that's one thing. We know we're never out of the game. Like this past last weekend on Friday in the play-in, Bridgeport was up to an 8-0 lead on us, and we had no thought that we were going to lose that game. Like we knew that we were going to battle and fight back, and we ended up fighting back and getting the dub. So we always tell ourselves to relax and play our game and come through together as a team, and that's it.
Absolutely. I mean, what a thrilling win this was today. Thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the night's rest tonight. You as well. So 10-8 victory, and we actually have another player coming up hopefully soon. Ryan Kendall, I believe. Max, nice to meet you. How are you? We're just going to go straight into it if that's all right with you. So, I mean, what a performance. Coming in, you guys are trailing by a couple of runs, but it feels like momentum is back on your side as the offense is starting to make its way back. Coming in, what was the message from your coach? Just shut this down, and how were you able to execute that to perfection?
He just told me, go in there, hold it down. I know our offense was going to come up big like they always do, and he just told me to go get it.
It was pretty amazing to watch you guys. And then, obviously, this is one of our first times getting to see you guys this year. So for us new viewers, how does the pitching transition into the offense? Obviously not for you specifically, but I mean, it felt like you were the guy who really grabbed momentum back onto your side there.
Well, like you said, pitching definitely gives us the momentum, and the offense just builds off of it. I mean, all the guys rake, you could tell. But yeah, it's really it. We got it going for the guys out there, and they got our back.
Crazy game, crazy crosstown rivalry. Does it mean a little bit more when the opposition is only 18 minutes away in terms of campus battles?
I mean, yeah, close to the